Happy MLK Day if you're in the US. And we're going to have a great stream today. We're going to talk about VS Code. It's going to be a good tutorial. We're going to go through everything that you would like to know in terms of how to use VS Code with NVDA. If you're in chat, go ahead and say hi. I see we've got about 3 people watching, which is awesome. And we're going to have a really great stream. We're going to talk about how to install VS Code. We're going to talk about even what VS Code is. And we're just going to talk a lot about VS Code. All right, let's see. So if anyone's in chat, go ahead and say hi. I'm just going to make sure that I sound good here. Yep, I sound fine. So, I'm in chat, my chat's working well, and if you guys are here, go ahead and say hi in the chat. We're going to go ahead and get started right now. Hello everyone, welcome to another live stream. Today we're going to be talking about VS Code, or Visual Studio Code. First off, I want to start off by talking about what is VS Code, or Visual Studio Code. VS Code, or Visual Studio Code, is a text editor made by Microsoft, and it is a editor where you can write code, all sorts of languages, and you can use extensions to extend the functionality of that editor. So by default, the editor is kind of like a text editor like you'd see in Notepad, kind of, obviously a lot more sophisticated, but you can add other functionalities to the VS Code editor to almost make it like an IDE. Now, what is an IDE? Great question. An IDE, or Integrated Development Environment, is a code software where you can be able to run, debug, as well as write and test. It's a full-featured environment, and there's a lot of examples of them out there, like PyCharm, WebStorm. I almost said NetSuite. I'm so much in the accounting world that that's just what came to my mind. But NetSuite is not an NetSuite is not a IDE for programming. It's made by Oracle, who makes Java, but it's not an IDE. So we're going to be talking about VS Code. We're going to be going ahead and installing it, and we're going to be doing it all accessibly. So if you want to learn how to install VS Code, I'm going to be using NVDA, NonVisual Desktop Access, and we're going to go ahead and get started right now. So the first step in installing VS Code is to go ahead and install it, download it. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to go to code.visualstudio.com. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. As a note, folks, I share my sound, so if you want to say something in chat, that's great, but make sure that it's civilized, because you don't want to say something bad. It's going to get repeated to everyone on stream, as well as everyone in the world who's watching this video. And if you're watching this video, this is a great time to plug my chat. If you are watching, go ahead and say hi. Tell me what you're looking forward to. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started going live right now. Okay. So, here we go.
With screen sharing meeting controls window.
I am sharing my sound. If you're in chat, please tell me if you can hear my sound. I would sincerely appreciate it. Please tell me if you can hear the speech. And if it's too fast or slow.
Restream chat row. Zoom. Restream chat document.
Alright. I'm going to go to my Google Chrome.
Who's using Chrome? Who open Michael? More action. Open person. Who profile button.
Okay.
Button. New tab. Google
I'm
Chrome.
going to type in code.
C-O-D-E. Dot selection removed. V-I-S-U-A-L-S-T-U-D-I-O. Dot C-O-M. Code.visualstudio.com selected. Visual Studio Code editing redefined. Top level navigation landmark. Main landmark code editing redefined. Heading level 1. Heading level 1 redefined. Download for Windows stable build button.
Download for Windows. As always, I recommend the stable build. A lot of people say go
Devin
with the
Prater.
insider build.
I hear it.
The insider build, unfortunately, I don't like it because it's always changing and they can always break things. Thank you, Devin. We have Devin Prater in chat says, I can hear it. Thank you so much, Devin. And I really hope you enjoy this tutorial. So thank you for being on my stream today. And thank you for letting me know. If anyone else is in chat, please say hi. But we're going to go ahead and download the stable version. And if you disagree with me, I want to hear it. If you think that I should download the insider build.
Doug Oliver.
Thank you. Tell me.
Hey.
All right, we got Doug Oliver and we got Devin. But yeah, if you think for whatever reason, if you have a disposition that the insider build is better, I want to hear it. Let's start some debates in the comments of this video. All right, so with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and download the stable version. Press enter.
Documentation for Visual Studio Code. Top level navigation download.
Documentation, that means it's downloading for us. Actually, I already had VSCode on this machine because if you guys saw my video last
Download
night,
complete.
if
VSCode.
you guys haven't, you guys are missing out. Michael is teaching me how to code. I know, right? Here's the thing. I kind of know how to code. But my fundamentals are a little bit of a splintered mess. So Michael is teaching me everything from scratch. And you know what he's doing? He's putting it on this YouTube channel. So if you guys have not watched my stream last night, we had 2 streams. We had a GitHub Copilot and we had a developer stream with Michael. If you guys haven't watched the Learning to Code Accessibly, Programming Accessibly rather, it's a new series we're going to be doing. I'm learning Python. So if you guys want to learn Python and you want to do it with me sharing my speech, watch my video. It's a really great video. We had a lot of great fun. So yeah, I actually had to nuke my VS Code installation so I could actually show you guys how to do everything. So yeah, just show me some love in the comment section and the likes for having to redo my whole VS Code because that's not an easy feat. Anyways, I downloaded VS Code. It's already ready to go. Let's go ahead and install it. So I'm going to go press get rid of here.
Toolbar, address and search bar.
Devin Prater. Have you done a VID on how you live stream, like with sound and stuff?
Devin said, have you done a video about how you live stream and sound and stuff? Devin, yes, I actually did. I've got a video on my channel called How I Run My YouTube Channel as a Blind Creator. I can go ahead and put a description, a link in there if you want, but I did do a video actually, and just for clarity, I use Livestream. No, I don't use Livestream. Well, I do Livestream, but I use Restream, and Restream is an absolutely awesome tool. So go ahead and check out Restream if you haven't. They have a free plan, but you can Restream to all the different platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, you name it, you can stream to it. So yeah, go ahead and check out that video though for more details. Oh, great question. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and open up my downloads. Whoops. If I can type, it seems you can't type.
Run dialog, type the nick blank, FOWWOFDWWDONLOADS, text on desktop, downloads. Items new list, today grouping expanded, VS Code, VS Code.
VS Code user setup. We're going to go ahead and install this. And again, if anyone else is in chat, go ahead and say hi. And if you haven't liked the video yet, I want to try to get 5 likes. So please go ahead and like my video. And that will really, really help me. And if you also would like to share this with your friends, I'm going to actually be talking about something else as well. Folks, this channel is both an accounting and programming channel. So I'm going to be doing videos on both accounting and programming. Because believe it or not, accounting and programming have a lot in common. And so I like both things. I like accounting and I also like programming. And so I want to be able to demonstrate that. So I just wanted to let you guys know. All right, let me find my VS Code installer because I pressed enter on it, but it didn't gain focus.
Restream chat row, screen sharing meeting control, Zoom row 1, downloads row 1, restream chat row 1, Zoom row 1, downloads, date VS Code. Space, selected chat.
There we go.
Downloads, items view list, today grouping expanded, VS Code user setup X. Restream chat row 1 column. Setup, setup Microsoft Visual Studio Code, user dialog license agreement, please read to follow, I do not accept the agreement, to continue, click next if you browse, less back, next greater button, to continue, click next if you select the additional tasks you would like.
Hi. Though I know how to use VSCode and Python, I figured I'd jump in.
Thank you so much.
May learn something.
Yes, everyone. Thank you for being here. We've got a lot of people in chat. This is exciting. So, yes, we're right now installing VS Code. So I've got my NVDA pumping up. We're going to be doing some VS Code installation. And yes, we're going to be doing some Python too. And we're also going to be doing some web stuff. And we're also going to be doing some Markdown. And whatever else I feel like. And if you have a certain request that you would like for me to cover, go ahead, put it in chat. I'll see what I can do. All right.
Add open with code action to Windows Explorer file context menu checkbox not checked.
I go ahead and do this because what this will do is it will allow me to open up with VS Code for my Windows Explorer. So I recommend go ahead and check this option if you haven't already.
Space checked. Add open with code action to Windows Explorer directory context menu checkbox not checked.
Same thing applies here.
Space checked. Register code as an editor for supported file types checkbox checked.
I do that as well. That way it will help me to be able to open supported files in VS Code.
Add to path. Require shell restart checkbox checked.
Blind goofball. Can you turn your microphone up a little? The volume of NVDA is fine, but your voice is rather quiet.
Blind goofball says, can I turn up my microphone a little bit? Yes, I can see what I can do within reason. I did have a little bit of problems with my microphone, but I can see what I can do within reason. So just give me 1 second, folks, and I can turn that up. I'm going to have to stop screen sharing, though.
Downloads. Restream chat row 1 column for screen sharing meeting control screen share.
Alright. Just give me a second, folks. I will go ahead and turn this volume up. But thank you for the tip. It was already at 85. Is this better? Because it was already at 85 and I don't want to blast y'all's ear off. So, let me actually do this as well. Hold on. This microphone is on a stand, by the way, folks. I love this ATR 2100, but sometimes it can be a little finicky. So let me move this microphone closer. How about now, folks? Is this better? Alright, let me know. But yeah, thank you for whoever said that. I just raised up the volume and I moved the position of my mic. So please, please, please let me know if this is going to be better. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and reshare my screen. Please, again, let me know if you can hear me a lot better. Awesome. Yes, no problem. Sorry, I think my mic kind of fell over, so sorry about that, folks. All right, let's go ahead and do this again. Sorry, folks. All right.
Zoom screen sharing meeting controls window.
All right. So, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and finish our installation of VS Code. And I think we're...
Settings row 1 column 2 of 6.
Let me close this settings.
Downloads items view list to date. Screen sharing meeting controls row screen share. Set up row 1 column 3. Set up mic list back button alt plus B. Next greater button alt plus cancel button. Select the additional tab. Add open with code action to Windows Explorer file context menu checkbox checked.
All right.
Add open with register code as an editor for supported. Add to path. Require shell create and desktop icon checkbox not checked.
So what I was saying is adding to path is super important and you must do it. Well, you must do it unless you don't want... Try that again. You must do that unless you're absolutely insane. Okay, here's the reason. So if you ever use VS Code from a terminal, which I recommend, if you don't add it to your path, then you can't do cool commands like code space period. And as a refresher, that will simply add the code to your path. So what that means is that if you press code space period, it will open up the current folder that you're in VS Code. But if you don't add code to path, then you're unable to use that option. So make sure you always add code to path. Super, super, very important.
Space checked.
And also adding a desktop icon for VS Code. I like to do that because it's very convenient.
Add open with code action to Windows Explorer file context. Add open with register. Add to path. Left button alt next greater button alt install. Cancel. Click left back button alt plus B.
Hit install all
Cancel
the time.
button.
You get to hear those lovely NVDA tones. Hope you guys like those.
Set up Microsoft Visual Studio downloads. Items view list to date grouping expanded.
Let's see, let me close those.
Set up Microsoft Visual Studio Code. You finish button alt plus F. Set up unavailable. Visual Studio Code.
Oh, no.
Application. Main landmark. List with 7 items checkbox button expanded heading left button expanded checkbox not check space.
I was a little bit
Screen
nervous.
sharing.
So, what you hear is you hear some tones. Now, why is that? Because I have indentation reporting on. Now, don't worry, I'm going to actually show you guys how to do that right now. So, because let's just think about this. If you're doing Python, wouldn't it be great if you could be able to hear how many tones you... Wouldn't it be great if you could hear how much you've indented? Right? So that way you can understand how your code works. Well, that's a really great thing to do. In fact, that's what we did with NVDA. So with NVDA, there's a setting that says speech and tones for indentation or report indentation. And this helps in Python and other languages because I can hear how much I've indented, and it makes my life a lot easier. And so I actually made a new configuration profile for VS Code specifically, where I was able to make it so that it would read all speech and tones for indentation. So let's go ahead and review that real quick before we get into the rest of VS Code. Alright, so I'm going to go to NVDA, Insert N.
NVDA menu.
I'm going to go
Preferences submenu P. Settings
Settings.
NVDA settings general left parent. No editing profile code.
Document formatting.
D. Document formatting. Document formatting.
I'm going to tab.
Font super emphasis checkbox not check alt plus
These
M.
are all the options.
Highlighted left pair style checkbox notch colors checkbox document information bookmarks checkbox editor revisions checkbox spelling errors checkbox pages and space line numbers checkbox line indentation reporting combo box both speech and tones collapse alt plus I.
It says both speech and tones. Now one thing, folks, that I did notice is I wanted to have it read line numbers, but unfortunately when I hit read line numbers in NVDA, for VS Code that didn't actually work. In other words, it just did nothing. So VS Code never honored the reading line numbers for NVDA. So if you're watching this, anyone who has any influence in the development of VS Code, it'd be really great if I could have a way to read line numbers. Or if anyone knows in chat, say hi and tell me, because I don't know. Again, I don't know everything about VS Code. And I'm not going to pretend that I do know everything about VS Code, because I don't. And I just want to make that clear now.
Devin Prater. You could hit Alt-I there in the formatting dialog.
Alt-I? Yes. Good to know. Again, I'm an NVDA power user, but I was also going the long way, so people might be able to understand how to do it. But yeah, Alt-I is the keyboard shortcut. So thank you, Devin. Very helpful. I kind of forgot about that, so thank you. Okay. It's not that often that I actually have to set up these configuration profiles. So that's the only setting that I went ahead and set in the configuration profile. So I'm going to go ahead and escape out of this.
Application.
Because that just is done there. So what we've done is we're at a welcome screen for VS Code. And this has a bunch of welcome tutorials, and it just has welcome to VS Code. I can actually be able to read it. And you just get into browse mode for this one. So.
Checkbox not check.
Oops.
Out of list.
So I'm just going to press H.
Start heading level 2.
Start.
List with 4 items button new file dot dot dot.
See, it says new file.
Button open file dot dot dot.
Open file.
Button open folder dot dot dot.
Open folder.
Button clone git repository dot dot dot.
I can clone a Git repo.
Out of list heading level 2 recent. List with 1 item you have no recent folders comma. Button open the folder to start dot.
Another thing I do is I increase my punctuation because while coding, it's very, very important to have punctuation so you can hear all the different symbols. So that's another change I make in this configuration profile.
Out of list heading level 2 walkthroughs.
And I can do insert P to change the symbol level.
List with 3 items button unavailable heading level 3 get started with VS Code. Button unavailable discover the best customizations to make button unavailable heading level 3 learn E.
So these are all the little walkthroughs and tutorials and kind of things that we can do. I don't personally want to deal with any of this stuff. So what I'm going to go do is I'm going to press X. Simply put, X will go ahead and put this as a checkbox. And I can dismiss this checkbox. Because here's the thing. VS Code is written in something called Electron. Simply put, that's what all modern day apps, it seems like these days, are written in. Think Slack, think, other apps, Microsoft Teams even I've heard. I don't know if that's true or not. But Electron is kind of a JavaScript framework where you can write apps, and they're kind of web-based, but they're able to be ran on the desktop. And VS Code happens to be one of these apps. So that means that your basic web navigation commands will actually work, because it's almost like a glorified web page in a sense. So I'm going to go ahead and press X.
When check comma, this page will be shown on. Not check when check comma, this page will be.
And I'm going to press escape to get out of this.
Land.
Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and look at
Doug Oliver. Hey.
Hello, Doug Oliver. So we're going to look at the menus, and we're just going to kind of look at different items and things. So in our menus, we've got a lot of different items, and what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of take a tour. So
file submenu alt plus F1 of 7.
file, we've got all of
New
our
text file
standard
CTRL
files.
plus N1 of 20.
New text file.
New file dot dot dot. CTRL plus alt plus Windows plus N2 of 20.
Control Alt Windows N. Wow.
New Windows CTRL plus Shift plus NW3 of 20.
And you notice it reads all the keyboard commands as I'm going. So Alt F is a file, and it's reading all these commands as I go down the menus.
Open file dot dot dot. CTRL plus 004 of 20. Open folder dot dot dot. CTRL plus K CTRL plus OF5 of 20.
Hi.
Hello, Juan. We've got a lot of people in chat right now, folks. This is wonderful. If you're in chat and you have not introduced yourself, please, please, please go ahead and say hi. I'd love to know who's here. And if you've got questions, you've got suggestions, you've got things that you want me to talk about, throw them at me, and I'll do the best that I can. Because, again, I'm not the master programmer of the household like Michael is, but Michael told me that I'm going to try to be like him in programming ability. So we're going to see how that goes. And if you guys have not heard of our new series that we just started last night, Program Accessibly, go ahead and check out our first episode where Michael teaches me some Python. So, I know some Python, but the thing is my fundamentals are kind of eh. Also, my problem-solving ability is kind of eh. So, Michael kind of is teaching me all the fundamentals, and we're doing it live with speech. So, go ahead and check that out. I'll put a link in the description. But we're going to be doing another one tonight at 7:30, so I just wanted to let you guys know. Check out the next stream at 7:30.
Open workspace from file ... K6 of 20.
Open a workspace.
Open recent submenu R7 of 20.
Dumb question. Who's Michael?
Oh yeah, dumb question. Who's Michael? Well, that's not a dumb question. Maybe you guys don't know. Michael is my boyfriend. So Michael Doise is a software developer at a company that you guys might have heard of called WayAround. And if you're not sure what WayAround is, it's a application where you can be able to label different household items or different things, and they have public places where their tags are displayed. But basically, Michael is the mobile app developer, and he has been making programs for over 20 years, it seems like, since he was 9. So Michael Doise, we're both in Austin, Texas. Maybe you guys are not aware of this, but I moved to Austin, Texas. But yeah, no, it's not a dumb question, Devin. I'm glad you asked, because maybe not everyone knows, and that's okay. So yeah, Michael is an absolute programming genius, and he's been on a lot of my channels. Also, if you have not checked out his channel, I put a link in my channel to check out his. We're trying to get him up to 50 subscribers as well. So you guys like my stuff, you're going to like his stuff a lot too, because I'm in it. So, you know. No, we did a lot of streams last week. But yeah, no, it's not a dumb question, Devin.
Add folder to workspace ... D8 of 20.
I can add a folder to a workspace. We're going to be talking about workspaces in a little bit later.
Save workspaces ... 9 of 20.
Again, we're going to be talking about workspaces a little bit later.
Duplicate workspace 10 of 20.
Duplicate workspace.
Share submenu 14 of 20.
I should share.
File menu.
Whoops.
Share sub autosave not check view 15 of 20.
Autosave. Kind of a helpful feature to have.
Preferences submenu P16 of 20. Close window Alt plus F4
We're
E19
going to
of
go
20.
ahead and talk about preferences as well in just a minute. But what we're doing right now is we're just doing a tour of the menus. So, yeah. Tour of the menus is what we're doing at this current juncture. So that's really what we have in our file menu.
Undo CTRL plus ZU1 of 12.
Undo just kind of the standard edit operations in this one.
Redo CT, cut CT, copy CT, paste CTR, find and file CTRL plus Shift plus F8 of 12.
Find and files.
Replace and file CTRL plus Shift plus H9 of 12.
So that's kind of helpful if you want to replace things in multiple files.
Toggle line comment CTRL plus slash T10 of 12.
Toggle line comment control plus
Replace toggle line comment CTRL plus slash T10 of 12.
slash T.
Toggle block comment Shift plus Alt plus AB 11 of 12.
Block comment Shift plus A plus B. So there's a lot of different commands, and you can always reassign these. We're actually going to be doing that a little bit as well.
Emmet colon expand abbreviation tab X12 of 12.
Emmet. So Emmet is kind of a thing that you're able to use for web development stuff, and it kind of helps you fill in tags. And it's a really great way to make your coding faster, and it's actually built into this editor and others. But Emmet is something we're going to be talking about when we talk about making web pages, which we are going to be making a simple web page today. So we're going to be learning a lot about Emmet in just a little bit. So stick around, folks. This is going to be a long tutorial. So go ahead, grab yourself a cup of coffee or some popcorn or even your computer. Follow along, whatever. It's going to be a great tutorial.
Undo CTRL plus ZU1 of 12.
I'm going to be throwing in some Easter eggs. So we're undo. That's the end of that menu.
Select all CTRL plus AS1 of 16.
Select all.
Expand selection Shift plus Alt plus right arrow E2 of 16.
Selection. So this is called the select menu.
Shrink selection Shift plus Alt plus left arrow S3 of 16.
Selection.
Copy line up Shift plus Alt plus up arrow C4 of 16.
Copy line up.
Copy line down Shift plus Alt plus down arrow
Copy
P5 of 16.
line down.
Move line up Alt plus up arrow V6 of 16.
Up, down.
Move line down up duplicate selection D8 of 16.
And see, these are all these shortcuts, and I haven't memorized all of them, not even a third of them.
Add cursor above CTRL plus Alt plus up arrow 9 of 16.
Add cursor. See, I don't even know what half of these things do, but the thing is that there's so many options in this editor, and it's a very powerful tool.
Add cursor below CTRL plus add cursor to add next occurrence CTRL add previous occurrence R13 of 16.
Okay.
Select all occurrences CTRL plus switch to CTRL plus click for multi-cursor 15 of 16.
Multi-cursor.
Column selection mode not checked at 16 of
So there's all
16.
these different things.
Select all command palette ...
All right.
CTRL plus shift plus PC1
Now,
of 15.
this is the Swiss Army knife that you guys have been waiting for, which means, well, no, it has been. It is the Swiss Army knife of VSCode. This is called our command palette. Now, why is this so important, you ask? Because, you know how I said I only know 1/3 of the keyboard shortcuts? Well, for the things I don't know, I go ahead and open up this thing called the command palette. What is this command palette, though? It displays everything that VSCode has to offer. Yes, you heard that right, folks. All the commands that VSCode has to offer are in this little thing called the command palette. Of course, it's not little by any means, but it's this Swiss Army knife of VSCode that is going to be very awesome for us to use. And the thing is, is that, sorry for the squeak chair. Maybe I need to go buy a new one. But it is a very, very, very powerful tool. And if you're not using it, then you guys are missing out. And I'm going to show you guys exactly how to use it today. There's two main ways to access it. Control-Shift-P, Control-Shift-P, or pressing F1. Either of those makes it so that you're able to access this Swiss Army knife called the command palette. So we got that, and we're going to be doing a lot with that as well. And we got
select expand selection shift select command open appearance sub editor layout sub menu appearance open view O2 of 15 appearance editor explore CTRL plus shift plus E5 of 15.
That's where you can be able to explore all the files and folders in your workspace.
Search CTRL plus shift plus F6 of source control CTRL plus shift plus GC7 of 15.
Source control. So if you're into GitHub, which I am, you can go ahead and use Git or GitHub or any of the Git services, Bitbucket or GitLab or vice versa.
Run CTRL plus shift plus DR8 of 15. Extension CTRL plus shift plus XX9 of 15.
And extensions are powerful too. Remember how I was talking about how VS Code is almost like a text editor unless you extend it? Well, there's these little things called extensions, and they really, really help. For example, there's a great Python extension. There's also great extensions for other languages. There's an extension for if you use websites. You can have a web server extension where you can have it run in your browser, and then every time you press save, it will refresh. There's so many great extensions, and I want to show you all of them. Well, not all of them because there's over 23,000. But I'm going to show you the extensions that will make you a VS Code powerhouse user. There's also extensions for Markdown, which is a really great semantic language. It's not really a semantic language, but it's basically a way to write documentation. It's actually what your README files in GitHub are made out of. And it's kind of like this markup language where you do like the hashtag for heading, or, you know, it's a very great way to use things. And I actually have a whole tutorial on my channel about Markdown, so check that out if you guys would like to know more. Okay.
Problem CTRL plus shift plus MP10 of 15.
Problems. Well, we all hate these things, don't we? You know what this is, right, folks? Any idea? Whoops. Well, I guess it's my microphone falling over. And you know what? That is a problem. But you know what that also is? An error. We hate errors, don't we? We really hate errors as programmers. If anyone likes errors, tell me in the comments, in the chat. But I'm sure you guys don't like errors. And my chat's been pretty quiet, so does anyone have any questions? Because everyone seems like they're quiet. Maybe I bored them all, but, you know, errors are the enemy of our programmers. So, we hate errors. Anyways.
Output CTRL plus shift plus U11 of 15.
Output, so that's kind of if you're running something, it'll show the output.
Debug console CTRL plus shift plus YB12 of 15.
Debug console.
Terminal CTRL plus Prof T13 of 15.
Terminal, that's really helpful to use your terminal in VS Code.
Sticky scroll not checked S15 of 15.
Sticky scroll, I don't know what that does.
Go menu.
So this is a go menu.
Go to line slash column CTRL plus DL14 of 19.
Helpful.
Go to bracket CTRL plus shift plus backslash B15 of 19.
Go to bracket, I don't use this often.
Next problem F8 P16 of 19.
F8 goes to the next problem.
Previous problem shift plus F8 P17 of 19.
Shift plus F8.
Next change alt plus F3 C18 of 19.
Next change, I think this is for like source control.
Previous change shift plus alt plus F3 C19 of 19.
Previous change.
Switch editor submenu V4 of 19.
Switch editor.
Switch group submenu V5 of 19.
Switch group.
Go to file CTRL plus PF. The conditional breakpoint inline breakpoint shift plus F902
So this
of 4.
is all about breakpoints and debugging. I don't tend to use these features because I kind of do debugging, but just by pressing print statements. But you know, whatever.
Terminal submenu
Alright,
T1
then
of
we
2.
got terminal, where we can make a new terminal, kill the terminal.
New terminal CTRL plus shift plus drop. New text file CTRL plus NN1 of 20.
That's it. So that is a very, 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 very basic way of entering the VS Code world by using the menus. So does anyone have any questions about the menu structure before we go ahead and make some files? Any questions? Because we're going to go ahead and make some files very shortly. We're going to start off with some Python. But before we start off with some Python, I want to show you guys some tricks. But before I show you guys some tricks, I need to get a drink because I am thirsty. Talking a lot definitely makes me a little thirsty. So, if anyone has any questions, this is the time to do it. Or if anyone is very unsure what I'm talking about and needs a refresher, let me know. I'd love to know. Or if anyone isn't here anymore, I'd love to know that too. Okay. So, I just had to take a drink of soda because I was really thirsty. So, sorry folks, my throat got dry. So, okay. What we're going to do now is we're going to create some Python files. So, I want to do some Python because that's what I've been learning with Michael, but we're also going to do some web stuff because I do web accessibility testing at work, so I know a little bit of JavaScript and HTML and some CSS. But we're going to go ahead and do some basic stuff. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this
Juan Gonzalez.
VS Code window.
Have you guys used it with exam PPE?
I don't know what exam PPE is, Juan. I don't know what that is. So I'd be interested to know more, but I don't know what exam PPE is. Is that what you just said? But good question. If you'd like to provide insight on that, I'd love to know. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Alt F4 to get rid of this, because actually, no. Well, yeah, what I want to do is actually, I want to make a new folder. And why not do a good thing by learning about the terminal? So let's go ahead and learn about the VS Code terminal, because it's a really great way to make integrated terminal, or folders, I guess, for your VS Code. And you can do it right within the terminal in VS Code. So if you press Control tilde.
Application terminal 1 comma PowerShell use CTRL plus up arrow and CTRL plus down arrow to navigate the terminal buffer edit blank. Windows PowerShell copyright left parent C right parent. VSC colon / users / tailor greater.
So I'm gonna do CD
C
documents.
U.
And of course there's
VSC
some
colon /
issues
users.
with this VS Code terminal in terms of accessibility. I haven't followed up. I wonder if they're fixing these, because I don't know. There's some issues.
VSC colon / users / tailor / documents greater.
So I'm gonna do mkdir. Simply put, that just makes a new directory. So mk.
MDI
I'm
space
gonna call this VS Code.
VSC colon space R
Juan Gonzalez.
space.
XAMPP sorry dictation.
Oh,
It's a local server very useful for developing with PHP.
oh, XAMPP. Oh, I've heard of that one. I have that installed on one of my computers. Yes, I have that. I didn't install it on this computer because it's usually my accounting computer, but I can install it on this computer. No, XAMPP one. Yeah, I use it all the time. It's a great little server. Also, if you want to make WordPress locally, great little server.
Lecture command pipeline.
Oops.
User colon M K P I space R I D K M M K R V S C O D VSC colon E T T VSC colon / users /
I'm gonna call this
directory
VS
colon
Code.
C colon / users /
I'm gonna do CD
C space
VS
VS
Code.
VSC colon / users / VSC colon / users / tailor / documents / scope greater.
Alright, so I just made a directory in my terminal called VS Code, and I'm going to do code space period. That will open this up in a new window, and what I've done is I made a new folder in my VS Code terminal called VS Code. And again, all my code I'm going to be putting on a big YouTube GitHub repository that has all my streams in it, so be on the lookout for my GitHub repo. So, I'm going to do code
C space
period.
dot VSC colon / users / tailor / documents / scope greater code colon the term code tick is not recognized as a name.
Try that again.
C D E space dot VSC colon / users / tailor / documents / scope greater code dot VSC colon / users / tailor / documents / scope greater code dot code colon the term tick code tick.
Alright, backspace, backspace, backspace.
Blank. VSC colon / users / tailor / documents / scope greater.
Alright, code.
C O D E space dot VSC colon / users / tailor / documents / scope greater code dot code colon the term tick code tick.
No. Okay.
VSC colon /
That's a problem. Alright, let me get rid of this
main
terminal.
landmark group 1 left parent empty right parent
I'm going to
section.
do Control Shift E. That will open up the Explorer.
You have not yet opened the folder dot.
Excuse me. Okay, fine. Then I'm going to have to
Main
do it the other way because my terminal apparently does not have a mutual relationship with me. It must think that I'm just the devil. That's okay. Most terminals think that I'm the devil. But that's okay. So we're going to just go ahead and press Control O.
Items view list preview tailor dash items view.
Alright.
Items view list tailor on check row 6 column 1 9 of D download check. Descript check row D Discord check D break 20 D break documents D Dropbox check desktop check row 1 D documents check.
There we go.
Items view list 360 not selected not.
Oh, you know what? This is my
Items view list tailor dash personal check row 4 creative cloud file tailor picture
I
documents
have
check desktop
everything in
document.
weird spots.
Items view list 360 not select Adobe check 2 of 60 video pad projects check 19 of
You know what we're going to do?
restream chat row
I'm
1
just going to open this
folder.
up in the GUI. So this is a great use for my new little friend. I'll show you this in a second. So I'm going to go to Documents.
D O C U N E N E S text on the desktop
I'm going
list
to go to VS Code.
documents IV scope check 7 of 8
Watch this. Press
Context menu.
Shift F10, or I just made a key on my keyboard.
open O open a new tab E open a new window E pin to quick access get D or G get dash S open with code I
Open with code.
documents Visual
There we
Studio
go.
Code application info do you trust the authors of the files in
Of
this
course,
folder.
it's going to give me this little warning that says, do I trust the authors of this file and folder? Well, duh, it's myself. I think I trust myself. Maybe if I don't, I need to do a sanity check. But I really think I trust myself, so I'm just going to go ahead and say okay.
No comma I don't tick T Our docs link visit HTTP. No, yes, comma. I trust clickable application.
Yes,
clickable
I
space.
trust
Info colon.
myself.
Sign in to use GitHub Copilot dot.
All right.
Context menu. Restore. Move. Sign. Minimum. Maximum.
So
Scope. Visual
GitHub
Studio.
Copilot, we're going to get to that in a second. That's a powerful, powerful tool. But we're going to handle that in just a few minutes because we got some business to take care of first. So, we need to create a new file. How do we do this? Control N.
App. Untitled dash.
Okay. I'm going to call this, let's see. Yeah, I'm going to call this, we're going to make a program. And what it's going to do is it's going to get the user's name. It's going to get the user's age. It's going to get the user's city and state. And it's going to print out a little greeting to them. So we're going to make this program. Basically what the purpose is we're going to learn how to do some Python. So we're not going to learn Python itself because if you want to do that, you need to go ahead and check out my previous video where I do programming accessibly. Again, we're doing one of those at 7:30 Central Time tonight, folks. So if you want to go ahead and learn some Python or you want to get to know Michael more, go ahead and check out our stream tonight at 7:30 on my channel. All right. So I have a little bit of a notification here, though, but it's not reading it. So notifications are kind of like alerts that pop up in your VS Code window. And the purpose of these alerts are to give you important status updates about your VS Code. And in this case, we need to enable one called Screen Reader Mode. Screen Reader Mode helps us as blind users to make VS Code more accessible. All right, so I'm just going to press Control N.
Untitled dash. Out of edit. Are you using out of listed? Are you using
I'm
a
going
screen?
to press Enter.
No button. Clear notification left pair. Yes button.
Yes.
Main landmark. Untitled dash to editor as autocomplete.
Boom. You know what we did there, folks? We enabled accessibility mode, and we made our life a heck of a lot easier. So, very easy to do. I like to do that whenever I get a new VS Code instance, and I just make a new file, because it just makes it easier. I can do it through the preferences and things, but I don't want to deal with that right now. So, let's just make it easier. So, I'm going to call this hello.py. So, I'm going to do Control S.
Save as dialog. Blank. Selection
I'm going
removed.
to do hello.
H-E-L-L-O.
And there's two ways that I can navigate this. I can either press Tab to navigate through the different file types, or I can simply append the words .py to the end of this. Because if you recall, .py is the extension of a Python file, correct? Yes? So if you append .py to the end of this file, then you have a Python file, and you don't have to go through this dialog, except you might want to verify that it's in the right folder. Lesson from last night's stream.
Line 1 blank. O-L-O blank.
See?
Dot O-Y-Y-O-P-Y.
I read the line numbers that time.
Items view list.
Alright, it's in the right folder, so I'm going to do Alt-S.
Untitled dash 2 dash scope dash visual studio code.
Alright.
Hello.py editor as autocomplete multi-line blank.
So we are in a VS Code new file. We've turned on screen reader mode. And we're going to type some Python. But we're going to notice something. Let's try type Python. So we're going to say name.
N. Suggest list. Non-local 1 of A. E. Space. Equals. Hello.py edit space. Name equals. A.
Oh, we heard a sound. We're going to get to that in a second.
Name equals space. E. M. A. N. N.
Hold
E.
on.
Space. E. Space.
Well, I'm not really getting a lot of good input. I'm trying to type Python, but I'm noticing I have a problem. And it's not being efficient. Well, that's correct. Here's the thing, folks. There's an extension called the Python extension that really helps you write Python better. Because it has all the different keystrokes and IntelliSense, which is basically like auto-completion suggestions. I personally love auto-completion. I know a lot of blind developers don't, but I think a lot of blind developers would prefer to use Notepad over anything else. But me personally, no. Notepad is for, I don't know, notes, not code. Anyways, that's just my rant. Don't kill me for saying that, because I know people might try to. Don't kill me, because I'm not the devil. But all I'm doing is trying to kind of insert some funny comic relief. But we got a problem because nothing's working. Alright, let's see if it detects even what language we're running in. So I'm going to do Control N.
Out of editor in space blank. Button mode then screen reader optimized. Button LN1 comma col 8.
Alright.
Button spaces colon 4. Button UTF dash 8. Button CRLF. Button editor language status colon type checking colon off.
Uh-oh. Type checking is off. Well, why is that? Because it can't detect what language we're in. Why is that? Because we don't have the Python extension. So, Control-Shift-X is going to be our friend.
Search extensions and 2
type in
extensions found in
Python.
Python.
Enter.
822 extensions found. Extensions list clickable with 1 item. Python 829 milliseconds. IntelliSense left parent. Pilot's right parent. Comma linting comma. Main landmark. Tab control. Hello. Dot. Extensions list.
Okay.
Python, comma.
And I'm going to do applications or shift F10.
Menu. Disable 3 of add to workspace. Ignore recommendation. Extension settings. Copy extension. Copy it. Uninstall. Install another version. Switch to green. Azure. Install another. Uninstall 7. Install another version. 6 of 12.
Huh. Do I already have it? Do I already have this extension? Because it doesn't seem like I do.
Main landmark. Hello.py editor has autocomplete multi-line name. Search extensions and mark. Extensions list. Python, comma. 2020. Menu. Disable. Add to ignore it. Extension. Copy extension ID. Extensions list. Python, comma. Search extension. Python select. N. Unselected. Install section button. Expand. Extensions list. GitHub copy. Jupyter. Pilot. Python, comma.
Okay.
Islands, comma.
So I already have Python, but this type checking basically saying we can't detect what kind of file this is. We're gonna go to the bottom of this window here, and we're gonna enable this Python checking thing here.
Out of tool space land.
So
button mode and screen rear option. Button LN1 comma. Button spaces colon. Full button UTF-8. Button CRLF. Button editor language status colon.
Watch this.
Clickable type check in colon. Off switch to on. Button add to status bar. Button switch to on.
Okay.
Land.
Type checking. What that does is it helps to make sure that if we're in a Python file, it's going to suggest suggestions for a Python file. It won't suggestions for a JavaScript file because we're not in a JavaScript file. So it's very helpful to be able to have type checking enabled. It makes our life incredibly easy. Okay. So, sorry for clearing my throat.
Land. No next edit field. Application title submit.
Alright, so
Exit 20.
let's
Close
try
window.
this again, shall we?
Land. No next edit field.
Okay.
Application. Content info landmark. Toolbar. Go
Here
back
we
with
go.
error colon. 1 button notifications button. Please feed. Main landmark. Hello.py editor has autocomplete multi-line name. Name equals. A-M-E space equals space.
We're not
Equals
doing
space.
an if
Equals
statement.
space.
Alright,
Name
let me
equals.
get rid of
Name
this.
select. Space. Equals. Land.
And name equals
Space. I.
input.
N. Suggest P. U. Hello.p. Land.
C.
Left parent. Line prom. Space. Left parent. Space. Right parent. Space. Left
I'm
parent.
so used to having my Copilot that I forget that I need to enter my name. We're going to talk about Copilot in just a second, so don't worry. Stick around, folks. And if you have not seen my last stream about Copilot, you need to check it out because there's some accessibility issues you should be aware of. But we're going to do what is your name? So input, basically it's the input function, and name we define a variable.
Quote. W. H. A. E. Space. Y. O. R. A. E. Question. Quote. Right parent. Land.
Okay?
A.
H
G.
equals
Space.
int.
I. N.
We're
T.
going to
N.
convert this to an integer.
Hello T. Land.
Left
Left parent. Line Y. N. Hello N. Right parent. N. I. Left parent. Int. Left N. And right parent. P. U. T. Left parent. Line. Left. Right parent. Right. Left parent. Right parent.
We're going to say
Quote. H. O. Double space. O. L. D. A. R. E. O. U. Question. H equals in left parent. Right. Land.
okay, and then we're going to go ahead and first make sure that our program works. So we're going to print out, hello, your name is blah, blah, blah. And we're going to use our F strings that we learned about last night. So let's see if I can do this without Copilot's help. We'll see. All right, so print.
P. Suggest R. Print. Hello. T. Land.
Left parenthesis.
Left parent. Star values.
Let's see. Cool. Or I might just do name plus age. Or name. Yeah, let's just do that. So.
Colon. Object. Comma. Quote. H. E. L. L. O. O. Quote. Right parent. Comma. N. Suggest list. Non-local 1 of A. Name. Hello.E. Right parent. Comma. Quote. Space. Y. P. P. O. U. Space. A. G. E. E. G. A. A. G. E. I. S. S. Quote. Right parent. Comma. A. Suggest list. G. A. Hello. E. Right parent.
That is how I learned to do this programming in school. So I did your name, your age, and let's go ahead and run it. Let's run it in our Python terminal in our VS Code. So we just little program here that just said hello, your name, your age, and it just prints it out. We're gonna go ahead and add more to it as well, but I wanted to make sure this actually worked.
Terminal 1 comma.
So
Windows PowerShell copyright left parent. C right. PSC colon backslash users backslash error backslash documents backslash code grader. P Y T H O S space H E. PSC colon back E. Land. PSC colon backslash users backslash error backslash documents backslash code grader.
Okay.
Parent.
I always forget to save my changes. So bad of me.
Double exclamation mark. Double exclamation.
Uh-oh.
PSC colon backslash users P Y T H O N space
Hello.
A E L L P O O L L E H P H E L L O dot P Y. C colon backslash users backslash error backslash app data backslash local backslash Microsoft backslash Windows apps backslash Python dot X colon contick T open file tick C colon backslash users backslash error backslash documents backslash code backslash hello dot py tick colon left bracket arrow two right bracket no such file or directory PSC colon
Okay, Python.
PSP Y T H O N space A E L L O P dot P Y. What is your name? Question.
Here we
Terminal 1
go.
comma Python 3
Tell.
T A Y L O R. How old are you? Question. 2
23.
3. Hello Taylor, your age is 23 PSC colon backslash
All
users
right,
backslash.
that works decently. Good. So we're going to add more to this program. We're going to add your city and your state. And this is actually the program I made last night with Copilot. So Copilot, again, is kind of like an AI paired programmer. It's made by GitHub, and it costs $10 a month after your 60-day free trial, if you already haven't subscribed to the trial. And it's a really great program because it will help you make programs and it will help you complete your code. But there's some things that you have to watch out for. And if you want to know more about that, check out my video about that. Okay. So, we're going to get out of this for now.
Age equals in print left there, and right blank.
And we're going to make some different things here. We're going to make some other variables. And we're also going to make some errors, because I want to show you guys a neat feature about VS Code for the blind or with screen readers, and that is sounds. But in order to do that, I want to make some errors. So let me see if I can find a mistake. And I also want to show you guys the problems feature of VS Code. My chat's pretty quiet, so does anyone have any questions? Are you guys lost? Are you guys not here? Let me know.
Print left there, age equals, name equals, age, line feed.
Alright, so I'm going to do city
C-I-T-Y, space, equals, space, quote.
Sorry,
Quote,
input.
I, T, hello dot T, line feed, left parent, line, quote. W-A-A-J, W-W-J-A-A-J-H-A-T, space C-I-T-Y, space D, space O, it's L-I-V, I-N, question, right, line feed.
Okay, and then I'm going to do state.
S, suggest list, stop a single iteration, T, A, T.
Actually, I don't know
Stop
why
a
I'm
single.
doing uppercase.
S, line feed, S, S, E, space, equals, space, I-N, U-T, left parent, quote, W-J-A-A-J-H-A-T, space, S-T-A-A-T,
There we go.
S-T-A-Y-E, space,
Oh my
space, E, Y-T-E, space, D-O, space, Y, space, L-I-V-E, space, I-N, N, quote.
The struggle is
Question.
real today. I can't
Right
type,
parent,
folks.
line feed.
Alright, so name, age, city, state. Got it, okay? Got it. Now, we're going to go ahead and put this into my program and print out everything. So,
A, print left R, T, left parent, blank, line feed, right parent, E, right parent, comma, star, quote, Y-O-U-R, space, C-I-T, T-I-C, space, R, U-O-Y, Y-O-U, space, L-I-V-E, I-N, N, quote, right parent, comma,
city.
C-I-T-Y. Hello, Y, right parent, comma, quote, I-N, N, quote, right parent,
state.
comma, S, suggest E, state method, A, T, E, state, hello dot E, right parent,
Alright,
blank,
so,
print left parent, quote, hello, quote, comma, name, comma, quote, your age is, quote, comma, age, comma, quote, you live in, quote, comma, city, comma, quote, comma, state, right parent.
so that's how we're going to go ahead and run this thing. Alright, so I'm going to do control,
Terminal one
up arrow.
Blank. C colon backslash users backslash error backslash app data backslash
Okay.
P P S Y R H H R Y P P Y Y P P
Python.
U U Y P S T A O N space
I'm going to say hello.
A E L L O
.com.
dot P Y. What is your name? Question. Terminal 1 comma
Taylor.
hyphen 3.9 T A Y L O R. How old are you? Question.
23.
2 3. Hello Taylor, your age is 23 PSC colon backslash users backslash
Of course, what did I forget
items
to
new
do?
list scope.
Save it.
Blind goofball.
Terminal.
I missed the section about the terminal. Can you give me the shortcuts you are using for it real quick?
Yes. Okay.
I never
so-
had much luck with the built-in terminal.
No. The terminal is kind of a pain in the rear end, blind goofball. But what you do is you press Control tilde, and you're able to use it. Again, it's a kind of a pain in the butt, but I'm using it right now because my built-in integrated terminal, my operating system, is kind of messed up. So, you know. But no, it's not the best. It works, but Microsoft needs to integrate it better with accessibility. So you do Control tilde, and then you're able to use your standard terminal commands. So that makes sense. All right. So we're going to go ahead and run our program and try not to mess this up, Python.
P Y T O O T P
Can I not
P
type?
P Y T H O N space
Hello.
A E L L O
Dot
dot P
py.
Y. Terminal 1 comma Python 3.9 use CTRL plus up arrow and CTRL plus down arrow to navigate the terminal buffer. What is your name? Question.
Taylor.
T A Y L O R. What city do you live in? Question.
Really? Austin.
U S T I N. What state do you live in? Question.
Texas.
T E X A S. How old are you? Question. 2
23.
3. Hello Taylor, your age is 23. You live in Austin, Texas. PSC colon backslash user
See?
backslash Taylor backslash documents backslash scope greater. Terminal 1 comma PowerShell use CTRL
It
plus up arrow
works,
and
but it's kind of verbose. So really what this program did is it kind of is a simple Python program. Now, I want to show you some other different commands we can use. And let me do this here.
Main landmark. Name equals.
All right, so I'm going to say question mark followed by control. Control question mark.
Space N.
So I'm going to say this is
Space.
a comment, by the way.
Space
This
T H I S A D R O G R A M A S K S space F O R
the
J E J U S
users
E R S space N A M E comma
age,
A A G E space comma space E I T Y comma space A N space S T A T E dot space
from
F R O M space A D R E space
the
C H E space R O
program
G R A M space P R I N T S space O U T space F F
all
A L L space H E space space A T L L A space T U O space S S space T A E M space L L A O U T dot
So that's called a
dot
comment.
space N dot N
All right, then I
space
can
number
just press. Oops.
space N space
All right,
number
let me get rid of this.
number and unselected line feed dot line.
So I just made a comment by pressing control question mark. Comments are really awesome. They help you be able to notate your code, and you really should comment your code all the time. It definitely helps you. All right, now I want to show you guys my next favorite friend, and that is Copilot, because we're going to be making another program. To be honest with you, I don't know how to make it, but we're going to be making an epic program. All right, let me repeat that because my mic decided it was going to topple over because my stand is kind of crap. So we're going to go ahead and talk about our great friend Copilot, because I'm going to be making a program that I've never learned how to make before. But why am I making it live on stream? Because I want to show what happens when you get errors. What better way to show how you get errors than to make them on stream? And what better way to do that than to do something that I'm not as familiar with? So we're going to put our error testing, problem solving skills to the test. And so we're going to go ahead and sign in with GitHub Copilot. So I'm going to sign in with my GitHub account. But basically, again, if you haven't saw this before, go ahead and check out my stream from last night. I'm not going to get into too much what the Copilot is, but I am going to say that it's a great tool with a little bit of accessibility problems. But it's still usable. It's just not the best in terms of accessibility. So I'm going to go ahead and open Copilot. I'm going to go ahead, let's see, I'm going to find Control-Shift-P for command palette.
Type the name of the command. 6 P N 65 space T 8 8 U D circle hello dot py.
Oops.
No matching commands 1 to 1. No matching. No errors. Debug colon open develop file colon open recent dot comma control plus R4 get colon open repository merge editor navig open link open new preferences colon.
Okay, so greater.
2 results. Greater 802 results. G I D unknown circle hello dot py dash stone publish the GitHub 2 of GitHub Copilot colon collect diagnostics 1 of 2. Publish the GitHub 2 of GitHub Copilot colon collect diagnostics 1 of 2. GitHub Copilot colon collect diagnostics publish the GitHub Copilot colon 933 results. Debug colon develop fold get colon clone 9 of.
Let me do this. Let's see.
Make 802 results. C O 140 P 15 result I 2 results. GitHub Copilot colon collect diagnostics 2 of 2.
Okay, so I have to open it up first.
Main.
So let's see.
Out of edit flush the screen space dot and object left values to a star left space blank button no and then screen reader up button ln 10 button spaces colon button UTF dash 8 button CRLF button editor language button Python button 3.9 button loading tilde spin comma deactivate Copilot button please feedback button notifications sign in to use GitHub clickable button sign in to GitHub button Visual Studio Code dialog cancel button allow button circle hello dot py dash stone dash circle hello dot py dash stone dash Visual Studio open Visual Studio Code dialog https//stone.dev wants to open this application cancel button 2 of 2.
And folks, stick around because later on we're going to be doing something that you guys are going to get blown away by. And you guys might want to get your VS Code ready because in a few minutes I'm going to be doing something where you guys can be able to code with me. What? Yes. So stick around because you're not going to want to miss this next part of my tutorial after we get through some web stuff. That's right. We're going to do some community coding. You guys don't want to miss it. And if you're still in chat or you're new to the tutorial, welcome everyone. I'm Taylor and we're having a great time learning VS Code. And we're doing it accessibly. Alright.
Open Visual Studio cancel open. Visual Studio Code dialog allow an extension to open visual question. GitHub object cancel button open button circle hello dot py dash stone dash Visual Studio Code circle hello dot py dash stone dash Visual Studio Code document application main landmark hello dot py editor as autocomplete multi-line blank.
Alright, so I just signed into GitHub Copilot. So I'm going to make a new file and I'm going to call it, what am I going to call it? Conditions.
Blind goofball. Oh yeah, bring on the Python.
Yes. Bring on the Python. And also bring on the community coding. Y'all don't want to miss. So stick around. You guys don't want to miss any of this. Because trust me, I have gone through a lot of VS Code tutorials and they're not accessible. And I've also gone through a lot of college classes and they're not accessible.
Payon Media, LLC. This is fun learning about Python.
Yes, Payon Media. Did you see my stream last night where I had a stream where
Payon Media,
Michael
LLC. Been using ChatGPT to help with some Python.
I've been using ChatGPT too. But the thing is, I have learned that I don't know the fundamentals well. And that's why, if you guys don't know the fundamentals, check out my series called Program Accessibly, where Michael teaches me Python. So yeah, thank you everyone who's watching. I see we got a lot of people, but stick around because this will probably be over 2 hours long. Okay, so I'm going to create a new file and I'm going to call this numbers.py.
Untitled.
We're going to make a simple program
Save as .blank.
called calculator. That's right, we're making a calculator in Python. All right, are you ready for this? Yeah, I'm going to call it numbers. I could also call it calculator, but I'm just going to call it numbers. So Control N, type in my name, numbers.
NUMBERS.py. Line 1.
All right, here we go.
Untitled -2 Visual Studio Code. Numbers.py Visual Studio Code document. Application. Main landmark. Numbers.py editor as autocomplete multi-line blank.
So we're going to use some great concepts in Python. We're going to use functions. We're going to use if statements, conditionals, and we're going to use a while loop. All right? Sound fun? Let's do it. Okay, so first off, I'm going to press enter again. And I'm going to say def
DCF space numbers.py editor as auto ADD.
Actually add
Line.
underscore numbers.
NUMBERS.
And you hear that sound. What does that sound mean, folks? That sound is a sound that indicates that a suggestion for GitHub Copilot is available. And I can simply press the tab key. I'm going to do so now. Ooh.
Blank. Def add line numbers left parent x comma y right parent colon.
Okay.
Def colon blank 4 space
All right.
y blank mode 4 space return x plus y.
And of course that basically said def, return x plus y. But I want to go ahead and edit this code because that's actually not what I wanted it to do. But simply, anytime you're in a place where GitHub Copilot can be able to be in use, you basically press tab anytime you hear that sound that you guys just heard a minute ago. But I don't like the code that it helped me generate, so we're going to go ahead and fix it.
Node def add line numbers left parent 4 space return x plus y. Y.
Okay.
Space. Plus.
So.
X plus. Return. X plus.
Yeah, I don't like any of this. Okay.
Return. Space.
That was
Space.
kind of
Space.
a
Line
test,
colon.
so-
Line space. Return x y until it. Node def add line numbers left line feed. Line feed D. Line feed. Blank. Blank.
So we're going to say num1
N. So you add line numbers. Line numbers.py editor at prov. Prov 1 space equals space.
I'm going to call this a float.
FLO float. Numbers.py left parent line blank num line 1 equals float left parent input left parent quote enter a number colon quote right parent right parent line feed.
See, I did an input and I did converting to float, and we're going to do another one for num2. And again, I'm not a very Python confident developer, but I'm doing this to show you guys VS Code and how I might screw up. But it's going to be a great time. And I don't want to just have ChatGPT do it for me because then, I'm just going to not do anything. So I'm going to do num2.
NUM line. Num line 2 equals float left parent input left parent quote enter another number colon quote right parent right line feed.
All right, so I just did that. I have my numbers, and I'm going to take in my numbers, and I'm going to put them in my function as arguments.
Def add line numbers left parent x left x com space y selected y right parent NUM space right parent space NUN
Okay.
N U 2 line feed def add 4 space return num line 1 plus num line 2 node def add line num 4 space return num line 1 plus num line 2 line feed.
All right, thank you. I'm going to go ahead and do another function called subtraction. Subtract numbers. So this is going to be kind of one of those simple calculators. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. All right, def.
DEF colon Line feed. No depth subtract line numbers left parent. Num line 1 comma num line 2 right parent. Line
See,
feed.
folks,
4 space.
I'm not even really doing anything right now. I'm just pressing tab.
2. Line no 4 space return num line 1 dash num line 2.
Of course, this is not a way to do this. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this around. So I'm going to say number 2 minus number 1, because or else it'll just not make any sense. So, just a second.
Num line dash num line 1 u m line 1 space 1 2 suggest list num line 2 1 1 number 2 space dash space n u m line 2 line feed 2.
There. That way we have the
list,
bigger
line
number.
1 1 1. Numbers dot 1 line feed.
Actually, what am I doing? I'm not thinking properly, folks. My brain
No
is
4
not.
space return num line 2 dash num line 2 space n space
Okay,
n
don't
u m line
do what I
2
did.
space 2.
Don't do what I did at home. It doesn't work.
1 suggest list num line 1 numbers dot num space dash space n u m line 2.
I was right. Or I was wrong. The AI was right. Go figures, right? Alright, we're going to do another one. And I'm hoping that I can eventually make an error, because that way it'll be very helpful. Alright. So, if anyone has questions, let me know. Because we're also going to be making some more programs later on.
No net blank line 2 line feed 4 space.
Alright. So then I'm going to go ahead and do... Let's
Return
see.
num line blank space line feed. Space
Another one, def.
D E F space 2 line feed no 4 space return num line 1 star num line 2 line feed
Thank you. And
space D E F space colon line feed no depth divide line numbers left parent colon line feed 4 space line feed no 8 space line feed space.
okay, hold on. See, that one didn't work that time.
2 line feed no 4 space return num line 1 slash num line 2 line feed.
All right. Then what I'm going to do is it's going to go ahead and print out the result. So what we're going to do is I made a whole bunch of functions that don't do anything. And so we're going to go ahead and run these functions, but we're not going to have anything. So we're going to make a menu function. And this menu will kind of act as our input function to get all these numbers. And we're going to do a bunch of conditionals, and it'll be fun. All right, so let me see here. Okay. So we're going to go back up to the top.
No net num line 1 equals blank.
And we're going to do
D
def.
E F space colon line blank def add line numbers left parent num line 1 comma num line 2 right parent.
I'm going to call this...
Space, line feed.
What am I going to call this? I'm going to call this calculate.
CALCUAT colon line blank def calculate line sum left parent num line 1 comma num line 2 right parent colon
No.
T
See?
line feed ETALU A C space F
I'm going to call it
space
menu.
M N U left parent right line feed force print left parent quote 5 dots quit print left parent quote 4 dots divide quote right parent.
Okay, see? So then it has all these different little options. So it has 1 for add, 2 for subtract, and it will literally write this program for us. All right.
Print left parent quote 5 dots quit quote right parent no net num line 1 equals float left parent quote N 4 num line 1 equals float left parent line feed right line
Okay.
space no net num line 2 equals float left parent line feed N line right line feed 4
Again,
space.
make sure to tab. It will be very helpful to indent. Indentation is key for Python. All right. So I'm going to tab.
Right line num choice equals in left parent input left parent quote enter your choice colon quote right parent line feed
Okay.
colon line choice if choice equals 1 colon line feed
See
space.
what I'm doing, folks? I'm just literally pressing tab, and it's filling in the rest of this for me. Isn't this wild? Right? Isn't this like absolute wild? Tab.
Right parent line 4 8 space print left parent add line numbers left parent num line 1 comma num line 2 right parent line
Okay.
line feed print 4 space L if choice equals 2 colon line feed
Yep.
8 space print left 12 space blank space line feed space colon line 8 space.
And again, GitHub Copilot is literally doing all the work for me. Because I don't know how to do any of this yet. I want to learn, but I don't know how to do any of this right now. And so GitHub Copilot is kind of helping me to learn. But it's also teaching you guys VS Code. Because I'm teaching you guys VS Code by using GitHub Copilot tab. I was in the other room and Michael was using GitHub Copilot and I'm like, whoa. I'm like, you have the sounds now? He's like, yeah. He's like, I think ever since I turned on voiceover. So that was interesting. But is anyone in chat. What do you guys think about this?
Right there, line. Print left there, blank. State line feed.
Okay.
State line feed. Space. Print left there, blank. State line feed. Space. Print 4 space L of choice equals 4 colon. Cold line feed 8 space. Right line feed.
Make sure you back
Space.
indent, meaning that you indent 4 spaces for the elifs. Very helpful, because it won't suggest the choice unless you're in the right spot to do it. Okay. Tab.
Colon. Line feed. Right there, line feed. Print left 4 space L of choice equals 5 colon. 8 blank. No then blank.
All right.
8 print left there, blank. Line feed. Def add line select. Def add line feed. Space. Space. State line feed. Space. 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 Line feed. Space. Line. Right parent. Right parent. 4 space 8 space print left parent. Quote goodbye quote right parent.
So should we see if this works? Now, of course, we don't have a loop or anything, so it won't go until the user quits. But I just want to see if it works. So in order to do that, we need to go ahead and call our functions. And we need to call our menu function.
No then line feed.
Diff.
D E F space num space F D line
Menu.
M N U number S line feed multiply line numbers
Ah.
U line feed U M E N set U numbers dot U line feed menu def menu left parent right menu U line feed left parent state right parent space 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 left parent right parent left parent right parent left parent right parent selected left menu menus left left menu menu left line feed selected line feed right parent selected
So we're gonna go ahead and call menu
def
at
M
the bottom.
blank blank menu left parent right parent
Woo, that was loud. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and run this in the terminal.
terminal
So I'm gonna do
VSC colon backslash E
Python.
Y T H O N space N U M D E R S T dot P Y terminal 1 comma Python 3.9 use CTRL plus up arrow and CTRL plus down arrow to navigate the terminal buffer 1 dot add 2 dot subtract 3 dot multiply 4 dot divide 5 dot quit enter a number colon.
I'm gonna enter in 1.
1 enter another number colon.
2.
2 enter another number colon. Enter your choice colon.
1.
1 enter 3.0 PSC colon backslash users backslash tailor backslash documents backslash scope greater terminal 1 comma PowerShell use
And
CTRL
of
plus up
course
arrow.
it's a 3.0 because remember we put everything as floats. So it'd be the decimal, right? So this is an okay calculator. It works pretty okay, I would say. I mean, I don't like that it does a couple different things, but, you know, we're going to go ahead and edit this. But I need to make an error, so let's go ahead and make some errors.
Untitled Google Chrome numbers.py dash
What do I want to do to make this error?
Definite 4 space print left parent quote 1 dot add quote line feed space 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 no then 3 space print left parent quote 1 dot add quote right parent line space space
Okay.
P space P space no then def print left parent quote 1 dot add
Uh-oh. You heard the sound of death, right, folks? You listen to this again.
def menu print left parent quote 1 dot add quote right parent.
Uh-oh. What does this mean? That means that there's an error on this line. So let's find out. Control-Shift-M.
Showing 8 problems preview level 2 error generated by Pylons colon expected indented blocked line 3 and character 1.1 of 8.
Pylons is kind of a Python linter that kind of helps in style and syntax. Expected error at line 3 indentation. I'm going to press enter.
Main landmark numbers.py editor left parent unselected.
Whoops.
Print selected. P print line feed P.
It needs to
Definite
be
4 space print left
indented.
parent
Listen.
quote 1 dot add quote right parent.
Alright, see? It needs to be indented. Now, we don't have that error. So if you hear that sound that you just heard a minute ago, that means that we have an error and we need to fix it. Okay? I'm going to press Control-Shift-M again.
Showing 1 problems preview warning generated by Pylons colon quote C colon backslash users backslash tailor backslash documents backslash scope backslash numbers.py quote is overriding this lib module quote numbers quote line 1 and character 1.1 level 2. Main land blank 8 def menu left parent right parent colon.
Okay, so that's just a warning. I don't have to worry about it. But that's a very helpful way to debug your code. And then once you're done debugging it, you can run it in the terminal. So, what do you guys think about this program? And don't worry, we're going to finish it as well. We're going to finish it right now. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think about this program? Is anyone still in chat? Or are you guys just kind of in... Oh, apparently A-Lady's in chat. Or are you just kind of in nowhere land? Is anyone even here anymore? Or am I just talking to myself? Alright, let's continue.
4 space print left parent num line 1 equals
So,
quote left parent input left parent quote enter a number colon quote
We
right
need to
parent right
make a
parent.
loop. Now I'm very bad at loops.
No
So,
def menu left parent right parent colon line def menu left parent colon line feed 4 space
while...
WILE numbers E line feed space colon line feed no 4 space while true colon
Oh, man.
print left parent print left parent while true colon
Uh-oh, I got an error.
print A D add dot 1 left parent
Oh,
quote
no.
P while true 8 space print left parent 4 space print left P print left P print left P print left parent P num line 1 equals quote left parent N space 8 space num line 1 equals quote print left parent num line 1 equals quote node line feed 8 space num node net blank 4 space num line 2 node line feed space unselected space line feed right parent 8 space 4 space num line 2 right parent n space n 8 space num line 2 4 space choice equals in left parent input left parent quote enter your choice quote I C if choice I 8 space choice equals in left parent if choice equals 1 colon choice equals in left if choice equals print left parent add line numbers left space line right parent P
Okay.
space P if choice 12 space print left 4 space L if choice E.
I'm gonna probably mess this up completely, folks, so just be warned.
8 space print left space line feed P.
I've not done this a lot, so just be warned I might mess it up.
4 space L if choice equals E. 8 space print left space L if choice 12 space print left parent 4 space L space 8 space print left P 4 space L if choice E. 8 space print left space no and def add line numbers left parent 12 space print left parent quote goodbye quote right parent 8 space L if choice equals 5 colon space
Alright.
line colon line 12 space
Great.
E R E K line 8 space 12 space grade
Let's see if this works, folks.
terminal 1 PSC colon P Y E H O N space N U M 1 dot add 2 dot subtract 3 dot multiply 4 dot divide 5 dot quit enter a number colon terminal 1 comma Python 3.9 use 1 enter another number colon 1 enter your choice colon
2
enter your 0.01 dot add 2 dot subtract 3 dot multiply 4 dot divide 5 dot quit enter a number colon.
Hey! Well, I didn't mess this up at all. Wonderful, folks. This menu actually works. And it actually functions. And the calculator actually works. Thanks to our friend GitHub Copilot. So, why did I do this whole calculator project? Well, the reason I did this is because I wanted to show you guys how VS Code can function in Python. But we got 2 other areas that I primarily use VS Code for. And number 1, I use it for web pages. So making some simple HTML, some CSS, maybe some JavaScript. I don't really know JavaScript that well, but my friend in the other room does, Michael. But also, I use it for Markdown. And so we're going to be showing both of these areas and more about the live share. So let's do this. Let's talk about live share. Again, if anyone's in chat, let me know. I'm going to go ahead. I need to stop sharing my screen for just a second because I need to get ready for our next section, which is going to be live share. So we're going to talk about live share and what it is and how it can help you. So if you're here, be
numbers
warned.
so visual documents row 1 column 3 screen chat row 2 column screen sharing meeting controls row 2 screen.
All right. I need to stop sharing so I have to get a link ready. So basically, live share is a way where you can, in VS Code, share code, and you can have a lot of people in the same section, and you can be able to collaborate, and you could even do, like, video calls. But, of course, we're not doing that right now, but it's a great way to share code back and forth. I used it when I was in computer science, and it worked really well. All right, so if you're watching, say hi. Let's see if anyone's here. All right. So, let's go ahead and get this party started. So, we're going to go ahead and do Control-Shift-X.
Search extensions in Marketplace edit. LIVE. 5 extensions found in the Live extensions list clickable with 1 items live line share line clavio line stove line extension. Live line share line clavio. Live share MDNS, 0.0.11, publisher Lumen -CS, easily live share session link without going out from I205 level 1. C/C++ extend test explorer live share general tech, test C live line share line clavio line stove line extension, 0.5.0, publisher clavio additions to live share 1 of 5 level 1. Search extensions in Marketplace. Live share select E unselected. 9L 395 extensions list live share, 1.0.5803, publisher Microsoft toolbar install button. Installing extension live share started. An editor is now open with more details on this extension. Blank application extension colon live share -stove -visual studio code document -webview ://1p15800 1v13 lambert 3d6 pshr 0 hours 5d5 md1 coast str7 slash index.html question it equals d8345 2-234 c-4-8d04-70 2 ppdc 8763 and origin equals 60 51 85 18 6 45 90.
So if you guys are watching
info
right
colon,
now,
got a moment to help the VS Code team question. Please tell us about your experience with VS Code so far.
If you guys are watching right now, go ahead and follow along because literally there's an opportunity for you guys to join. Okay? So if you guys are following along, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and at this moment in time, I'm going to open up live share and I'm going to start a session. At this point, anyone can join because I'm going to put the link in chat. You don't have to, but the purpose of this is to show that live share is a thing. And what this live share does is it uses either your GitHub account or Microsoft account. And I'm going to log in with my GitHub account. Okay. So I'm going to do start live share session.
Extension colon live share STO34 list START debug colon debug help colon space LIV no matching commands 1 7 list 30 134 400 600 4 results search files by name L.VE no matching results 1 2 4 SH1 results no matching results document start window search extension colon blank 622L 4 of VSH live share colon change status live share colon export log live share colon focus on set live share colon help 5 of live share colon invite contact 6 days SE 3 results live share colon change status live share colon start collaboration session document info colon starting collaboration session document info colon invitation link copy to clipboard bang send it to anyone you trust or quote more info quote to learn about secure sharing dot document C colon / users / payer / app data / local / programs / Microsoft VSCode / code.xl balloon.
Alright, so then it's going to open up a Windows security alert. I just have to accept that.
Screen sharing meeting documents row 1 restream chat row 2 column zoom row 2 column Windows security alert row with private public what allow cancel button allow access space pressed.
So if you guys are brave, join me in my live share session. I'll put the link in chat.
Screen sharing meeting control documents row 1 restream chat row 1 column restream chat.
But if you want to, do it.
Clickable menu buttons clickable type of message LIVE SHARE colon space Livisher https://prod.livisher.
Simply all you're going to do is press enter, open that link, and then you'll be good to go. And it will bring you into my live share session. So let's do it. If you want to, you don't have to, but everyone is welcome to join my live share session. Okay, so live share is a great way
Michael
to collaborate.
Doyce. Hey everyone.
Alright, here's Michael. So everyone, I was talking about you earlier, Michael, because people didn't know who you were, so I was trying to introduce you. So, Michael, we are talking about live share right now. So if you want to be my guinea pig, do you want to join my live share session? Because I got one open. You don't have to. I just put you on the spot. But since I know you're in the same house as I am, do whatever. But live share, a great way to collaborate with peers on code. It's also a great way to write code. It's also a great way if your computer science professor doesn't want to read the code aloud, make him do a live share session. It really works. That's what I had to do when I was in university. So, ways to problem solve that one, right? Have live share open. It's great. It works all the time. Well, not all the time. I had some issues before, but live share is a great thing, and you should use it. Alright, I'm going to get rid of this live share intro page.
Land. Application main landmark.
Whoa. I don't know what that was. I just heard a weird sound. Maybe someone joined my live share session? Michael, did you just join my session? I just heard a weird noise. I don't know what it is. So either way, I heard a weird noise. Let's see.
Our editor learn about secure sharing info colon invitation link copy button screen read button ln button space button UTF.
Is anyone in my session?
Button CRLF.
Let's see. I'm going to go to live share.
800-LIE numbers.py-scope explorer colon focus on live share live share colon start collaboration live share colon change status for live share colon copy collaborate live share colon export logs 5 live share colon focus on contacts live share colon focus on help view 7 live share colon focus on session details view 8 of 17.
Yes.
Numbers.py-scope Visual Studio blank.
Alright, so.
No next button blank.
Oh no. I just got myself into a trap.
Application session details preview. Participants left parent 0 right parent not selected level 2 invite participants level 1 shared terminals left level 2 Python 3.9 left parent read level 1 shared servers left parent.
So,
level 2 Python.
Maybe no one's participating, but I just heard a weird noise, so I wanted to investigate.
Clickable state main landmark clickable.
Alright, so assuming if anyone wants to join, great. If they don't, the link is still open, and I'm going to be using it all the time. So we talked about live share. It's a pretty great platform. It's really helpful for you to collaborate with code, either with anyone, even in person or remotely. It works awesome. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about another area that I commonly use, and that's web. So I oftentimes make simple web pages either in HTML, and I incorporate some CSS and some JavaScript. And that's actually what we're going to do in today's little web thing here. We talked a lot about Python, so we're going to go ahead and move our focus to web. And I'm going to press Control-N. And that will make a new file. And I'm just going to call it index.html. So Control-N.
Untitled.
What the? I don't know what these sounds are. Index.
INDEX.html.
Press enter.
Untitled -2 Visual Studio Code. Index.html editor as autocomplete multi-line blank.
Does anyone hear those sounds? Does anyone know what those are? Because I would love to know. I'm going to press exclamation
Bang.
mark.
Suggest list. Bang 1 of 2.
Tab.
Index dot space less meta http dash equals quote x dash ua dash compatible quote content equals quote ie equals edge quote greater. Selection removed.
Does anyone know what this is? If you do, let me know. In chat, anyone know what this is? What do I have up right now? Let me play it all.
No indent less bang dot type HTML greater. Less HTML and equals quote unquote greater. Less head greater. For space less meta charset equals quote UTF dash 8 quote greater. Less meta HTTP dash equals quote x dash ua dash compatible quote content equals quote ie equals edge quote greater. Less meta name equals quote viewport quote content equals quote width equals device dash width comma initial dash scale equals 1.0 quote greater. Less title greater document less slash title greater. No indent less slash head greater. Less body greater. For space lang. No indent less slash body greater.
User might be in VS Code settings.
It might be in VS Code settings. Yeah, that's a good question. Or that's a good thought. So what do I have open right now, folks? Alright, the answer is a doc type. So this is kind of the foundation of a web page. And this allows you to be able to navigate, this allows you to be able to define the basic structure of your HTML. And so this is called the doc type. And this is a very important fundamental building block. And all I did to access this was press exclamation mark and I pressed tab. And that inserted all of this boilerplate in here for me. Now there's things I want to adjust, so I'm going to go ahead and do that.
Less bang dot less HTML less head greater.
Let's see.
For space less meta chart less quote greater less meta name less title greater document less O D document selected.
I'm going to call
T
this
less slash type
test.
T E S T.
Okay. It was called document. The title, folks, is basically the thing that shows up in the bookmarks bar, and it's kind of great for accessibility software that you make sure that this title is very, very descriptive. So please, 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 if you're a web developer, I can't stress this enough, make sure your titles are descriptive. Yes, I know, I'm kind of getting into a text and accent, but I'm telling you right now, I don't know how many times I talk to my clients at work and they don't have descriptive titles. They have titles that are totally unrelated to the purpose of their web page. Not cool, y'all. So, make sure your titles are descriptive. That'd be great. And, of course, follow best accessibility practices. Again, if you're a web accessibility tester like I am, you know how annoying web authors can be in terms of accessibility, or lack thereof. Anyways, that's my rant over. So, we're going to go ahead and go into our body, which is basically where we define the whole structure of our web page.
No indent less body greater. For space lang.
And here's another place for us to define our structure. And I'm just going to press H1
H.
tab.
Suggest list H1 1 of 14.
Or H tab.
Index dot ht greater less.
What does this do? I'll show you in a second. I'm going to call this test.
T E S T. Less. H1 greater. H1 greater.
Less H1 greater test less slash H1 greater. That went ahead and defined a whole heading for me. I just pressed H tab. Boom. There we go. That's called Emmet. That's Emmet at its best, okay? So I just went ahead and made a H1, press tab, called it testing. Now,
line greater line.
I'm going to do P.
P suggest index dot html editor add auto.
This
T suggest I S I S space
a
space
simple
E space E E S T suggest index T less line greater line.
Okay. Oh, well, we got Copilot. So we've got both Emmet and Copilot. Emmet and Copilot are going to work really hand in hand. So press tab.
Less P greater test less slash P greater. Less P greater is a simple test less slash less P greater line.
Okay. So I have Emmet and Copilot. They're working hand in hand. They're a team. We got this. We've got paired programmers. We've got, different assistants that are working together. This is my ideal environment, folks. Also, ChatGPT. I mean, we got a whole toolbox, folks. And that's the thing. We, as programmers, have a toolbox. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do another little element here. And I'm going to make what do I want to make? Let's see. I went ahead and I want to make some text fields.
Less P blank. State line feed.
So I'm going to do form.
F O M index dot quote equal N E quote action equals quote greater less quote greater less H space.
I really don't care. And I'm going to press tab.
Less input type equals quote submit quote value equal less input type equals quote text quote name equals quote message quote it equals quote message quote placeholder equals quote message quote greater.
Of course, we never added labels because if we don't add labels, I'll show you guys what happens. Okay? If you guys know, if we don't add labels and IDs, it doesn't work for screen readers. So let's make sure we add labels. But of course, this is just a simple test. And we had Copilot literally fill out this whole form for us. So that's pretty epic if you ask me. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is I want to show you guys a different extension. It's called Live Server. It helps.
Michael D. was left parent. Michael was right parent. Joins the collaboration session.
Whoa. Y'all, did you hear that? there was text to speech. And it said Michael Doise has joined the collaboration session. Which, by the way, Michael Doise is my boyfriend. He's in the other room. So say hi to Michael, everyone. And if you have not, subscribe to his channel. Please do it, because he produces just as awesome content as I do. So, just saying. And he's more of an awesome programmer than I am. So, please subscribe to his channel. I'd be very happy. So, Michael has joined my collaboration session. So, Michael, since you've joined my collaboration session, go ahead and make some code for me. If you want, make some code. Tell me just make things. Because basically, anyone who's in this session can do things, right? Anyone who is in this session can make code. Or can do code, right? Can either write code, read code, do any of it. So go ahead, Michael, make some code.
Input type equals quote submit quote value 4 space less / form greater. No then less / body greater.
Let's see if he's gonna make some code. It might take a minute because it's gonna be laggy. But let's see.
Less / HTML greater less / body greater.
Look in here.
4 space less / form greater.
All right, so I'm gonna.
Less p greater is a simple test less p greater less / p greater.
Oh.
Less p greater less / p greater y.
The same line as you.
Whoa! You hear that, right? It said Michael's in the same line as you. It's VSCode live share. What? What is happening? Hold on. It's like telling me that he's typing. Hold on.
Less form action equals quote greater.
They're editing nearby.
Whoa.
Less p greater what does this form do? Less p greater what does this form do question?
They're editing nearby.
What does this form do, Michael?
They're editing the same line as you.
Do you hear that, folks?
Info : RD Murray joins the collaboration session.
Hey, everyone! We've got a whole party in the VSCode collaboration session. RD Murray, thank you for joining my session. I really appreciate it. We got Michael in here. Y'all, just make some code, okay? Make some code. And this is pretty epic. What do you say? What do you say, folks?
RD Murray left your line.
RD Murray left my line? Okay. Sorry, RD Murray, if you're,
They're editing the same line as you.
They're editing the same line as I am?
Michael Doise left your line.
Michael Doise has left my line. You hear this, right?
They're editing nearby.
They're editing nearby? You hear
They're editing the same line as you.
This is...
RD Murray left your line.
This is what I call true accessibility.
They're editing the same line as you.
Less p greater no stream less / p greater. Less p greater no stream bomb less / p greater.
No stream
They're
bomb,
editing the same line
Michael?
as you.
No, we're not going to have a stream bomb.
They're editing nearby.
Less p greater no stream bombing folks and less / p greater.
Oh, no stream bombing, folks. Yeah, Michael, no. Let's
They're
not
editing the
do
same
that.
line as you.
Or let's not have people stream bomb. But I thought this was a cool idea, so... But again, this is awesome. Y'all, this is awesome. This is true...
Less p greater no stream bombing folks and less / p greater.
Michael, I love it.
Less form action equals quote greater. Less p greater what does this form do question less / p greater.
So,
less input type equals quote text quote name equals quote message quote it equals quote message quote placeholder equals quote message quote greater. Less input type equals quote submit quote 4 space less / form no then less / body greater less / HTML greater.
Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to install an extension called Live Server. Control-Shift-X.
Search extensions and LIVE SERVER.
Enter.
859 extensions list clickable with 1 items live server 29. Main landmark tab control extensions list level 1 live server 5.7.9 publisher with day launch a development local server with live reload feature for static and dynamic pages 1 of 859. Main landmark tab extension : live server tab.
Okay.
Extension : live server plus link HTTP.
Go ahead and install this.
No then left bracket 1 no next button. Out of frame of the content info landmark clickable toolbar go back left go forward left toolbar toggle primary sidebar left parent CTRL plus D right parent toggle panel left parent toggle secondary side customize layout manage toolbar account manage menu buttons extensions : marketplace actions tool fresh button clear extensions clickable use and more actions extensions list clickable with 1 items toolbar install button. Installing extension live server started. An editor is now open with more details on this extension. Blank application button unavailable no then installing.
Live server installed. Now, if you use live server, you need to open up VS Code. You have to open up the whole folder. So you can't just have a single file open. So just take that.
Installing extension live server is completed. Info : left bracket new right bracket live server at 5.7.9 : activation load time improved.
All right. Sounds good to me.
Blank application main landmark.
Okay. But yeah, folks, everyone is welcome to join this session. I'm so excited. This is like the best time I've ever had doing this. And again, if you guys like this is like awesome. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. Because I love doing this kind of stuff. All right. And if you guys love it, then that's great. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to do something else here. And that thing we're going to do is something that I like to always do. And that is run my code. Alright, so we're going to do applications key.
Menu. Command palette stop open with live server.
Open with live
HTML
server.
editor as autocomplete multi-line less / body greater. Info : server started at port : 55. Test Google Chrome Taylor. Person 2. Test. Heading level 1 test. Heading level 1 This is a simple test. Test. What does this form do? No stream bombing folks. Lol. Name edit email edit phone edit message submit button. Message edit blank. Phone edit as autocomplete blank. Email edit as autocomplete blank. Name edit as autocomplete blank.
See? We have a great web form, and it works really, really well. Well, I don't know if it works really well, but, you know, it's there. It's fine. And we were able to do it with live share, okay? So we were able to make a simple web page and open it in live server. And we could also do other changes. So let me do something else here.
Index.ht. Force space less slash form. Node then less slash body greater.
Okay.
Greater. Body greater slash less line feed. Greater. Line
Let's
force
do
space.
let's see, what do I want to do? I think I would like to do you know what, let's do this. Let's do a less, let me link to my website. Or actually, let's do, here.
Space. 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 Space.
Okay.
Line feed. Greater. Line feed. Space. Force space less slash form greater. Blank. Node then less slash body greater. Force space blank.
Okay, less.
Less. Suggest A. Space H. R. Index. Quote. 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 Less. Ref equals. Quote. Line feed. Quote.
Techopolis. I'm going to actually say Techopolis.
T-E-H-O-P-O-L-I-S.
Michael Doyce. Can you find the error?
Can I find the error? What do you mean, Michael? Oh, did you make an error? Let's see. Let me check. All right, Techopolis.
A greater less ref equals quote techopolis.html quote greater techopolis less slash a greater.
Well, fine. I'm not gonna actually. You know what? Here.
Slash techopolis less E-C tech quote greater. T-E-C-H-O-P-O-L-I-S less.
Techopolis is Michael's company, by the way.
Techopolis less quote greater quote
So I'm just making
L quote M-T-H dot S dot O-N-L-I-E.
So save.
Test Google.
Look.
Email edit. Phone and message buttons. A link techopolis.
See? It automatically made a link called Techopolis, and I just pressed Control S to resave my file, and I went to live server. How cool is that? Now, Michael is sending me on a scavenger hunt, and he wants me to find my error. So let's see if I can do that.
Index.ht. Node then less bang dot type HTML greater. Less HTML and equals quote end quote greater. Less head greater. Force space less meta charset equals quote UTF dash 8 quote greater. Less meta HTTP dash equals quote X dash UA dash compatible quote content equals quote IE equals less meta less title node then less slash head greater. Less body greater. Force space less H1 greater test less slash H1 greater. Less H1 greater less slash H1 greater.
Haha. Yeah, Michael, that's great. Why'd you make 2 heading level 1s on the page, by the way?
Less P greater is a simple test less slash P greater. Less P greater test less slash P greater. Less P greater what does this form do question less slash P greater. Less P greater no stream bomb info stand less slash P greater. Less form action equals quote greater. 8 space less input type equals quote text quote name equals quote name quote it equals quote name quote placeholder equals quote name quote greater. Less input type equals quote text quote name equals quote email quote it equals quote email quote placeholder equals quote email quote greater. Less input type equals quote text quote name equals quote phone quote it equals quote phone quote placeholder equals quote phone quote greater. Less input type equals quote text quote name equals quote message quote it equals quote message quote placeholder equals quote message quote greater. Less input type equals quote submit quote value equals quote submit quote greater. Force space less slash form greater. Less ref equals quote techopolis dot online quote greater techopolis less slash a greater. Node then less slash body greater. Less slash HTML greater.
Michael, I don't know what the error
Less bang,
is. Hold
less
on.
H, less head, force space, less meta HT, less title greater, test, node then less slash head greater, less body greater, force space, less H1 greater, less P greater is a simple test, less H1 greater, less H1 greater, 1 2, suggest list H2 1 index dot LLS, slash H1 greater.
Michael Doyce. Because it is wrong and I wanted you to catch it.
Oh, yeah, but catch what? The heading level 1 on 2 heading level 1s on the page? Yeah, I know it's wrong. So that's what I've fixed it. But no, I was going to fix it anyways, but it wasn't actually a syntactical error. It's just an accessibility error. So, yeah, that's kind of how we do web, right? I mean, obviously, I could go into a lot more, but this is a very simple tutorial, okay? This is a very simple tutorial, and I just want to make this very simple. I don't want to go into too much depth, but I want to go into a lot of breadth, right? I want to go into a lot, but I don't want to go into too deeply, okay? So, what we're going to do is if you are in chat and you have other ideas of topics that you want me to cover, throw them in chat, and if I know how to do them, I'll talk about them, okay? So, right. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about one more area that I use VSCode for, and that's Markdown. So Markdown is kind of a great a great tool for doing documentation. And what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and install an extension called Markdown all-in-one. So Control-N, and anytime I press Control-N, the live share participant should get taken to a new file. Watch this.
Untitled dash 2 editor as autocomplete multi-line blank.
See, it took me to a new file. It should take them to a new file. And I'm going to call it test.md.
Test.md. Untitled dash 2 dash code dash Visual Studio Code. Untitled dash 2 dash code dash Visual Studio Code document. Application. Main landmark. Test.md editor as autocomplete multi-line blank.
Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do some different things here. And the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and install an extension called Markdown All-in-One.
Search extensions in Marketplace. A-R-K-D-O-N-N. L-S-P-I-N-S-P-O-E. 9564 extend. Live share live server Markdown. Live share live server. Live. Share live share live select server Markdown selected. Space unselected. N unselected. R unselected. M unselected.
Awesome.
R unselected. 10,138 extensions found in the Markdown All-in-One. Extensions list clickable with one. R Markdown All-in-One. Markdown All-in-One, 3.5. Menu. Copy one of add the workspace. Copy one add the word copy extension.
Okay.
Extend toolbar. Installing extension Markdown All-in-One started. Editor is now open with more details on this extension. Installing extension Markdown All-in-One is completed. Blank application extension Markdown All-in-One -scope Visual Studio Code document unknown.
Okay.
Extension Markdown All-in-One -scope Visual Studio blank.
All right. So I'm gonna do
Number space H-I number blank star space T-E-S-S-T-I-G star T-E-S-T-I-N-G space A-G-A-N space F-O space A-K-D-N star blank.
Okay. Then I'm gonna go ahead and do my
834 results. Type F370 O-N. Circle test dot Markdown All-in-One : create table of content. Markdown All-in-One : add / update section number. Markdown All-in-One : print current document. Markdown All-in-One : print documents to HTML. Markdown All-in-One : remove section numbers 5. Markdown All-in-One : toggle code block 6 of
Michael
19.
is editing the same line as you.
Uh-oh, Michael is in trouble. I mean, he's not in trouble, but he's causing trouble.
Markdown All-in-One : toggle code span 7 of 9. Markdown All-in-One : toggle list 8 of 19. Markdown All-in-One : toggle math environment, control plus M9 of. Markdown All-in-One : toggle math environment. Markdown All-in-One : update table of content. Markdown : change preview security settings 12 of 19. Markdown : find file reference E-R-E-V. Markdown : change preview securities. Markdown : open lock preview to the side 2 of 5. Markdown : open preview, control plus. Circle test.md -scope Visual Studio Code document. Preview test.md -scope Visual Studio Code document. Blank application document.
So I could simply use my web commands.
Space.
What's this?
Caps lock. No next heading. Clickable frame list with 2 items. No net bullet testing. Out of list heading level 1 I. List with bullet testing again for Markdown. Out of list this is Michael all in underline dot.
This is Michael all in underline. Great job, Michael. And you see, I did it in a Markdown preview. And so if you can see this visually, you'll notice that I've got 2 different columns. On my right, I've got a Markdown preview. On my left, I've got my editor. All right, so let's see if I can do this together.
Out of frame, out of clickable search extension. Blank application search
Let's see.
blank application. No net Markdown All-in-One. Out of editor extensions list clickable with 1 item. Markdown All-in-One 285.
Markdown All-in-One. This.
Blank application extension. Blank application.
My editor.
Content info. Document.
All right. Here
Out
we
of frame,
go.
out of clickable search extension. Clickable terminal 1, Python 3.9 UCTR. Blank
Get rid of my
application terminal 1, Python.
Get rid of this terminal. I got so much
Main
stuff
landmark
open.
clickable editor actions toolbar button show source. Out of
That I
full
can't
clickable search
keep track
extension.
of it all.
Blank application.
Alright, so I'm gonna go back to my file.
File explorer. .scope collapse. Hello.index.numbers test.md505 level 1.
There we go.
Main landmark line blank. Line this is Michael all in underline dot line. Blank.
Alright.
Line feed.
So there is now another source, right? Here's another file, and this is Markdown, and I can do everything I want to do with Markdown in this file, right? In this extension. I can even do math.
They are editing the same line as you.
Michael's editing the same line as me. Oh boy. And I can even do like math stuff. So if you're like a computer science person, this is actually how I did all my math. I would actually do it in VSCode.
They are editing nearby.
Using Markdown. Oh.
They are editing the same line as you.
Okay.
RD Murray left line.
1 dot Swift. Blank. Number Michael take as favorite programming languages colon.
Uh-oh. Now Michael's trying to add some
They are editing the same line as you.
to my file.
RD Murray left your line.
RD Murray? Okay, this is a little sad. Michael's trying to influence his programming languages in my file. This is a little sad. I like all these sounds.
Blank. 1 dot Swift. 2 dot Python. 3 dot Java. 3 dot Java S.
They are editing the same line as you.
I was gonna say, Michael, JavaScript is Java
They are
is
editing
not
nearby.
your programming language of choice.
4 dot.
They are editing the same line as you.
3 dot JavaScript. 4 dot. 4 dot. 3 dot 2 1 dot blank. Number Michael take as favorite pro blank. Line this is Michael all in underline dot line.
Michael.
Blank number Michael C I M space number space. Number.
Heading level
They are editing
2.
nearby.
You know, I already have a heading level 1. Don't try to make you go to accessibility school again. I don't think we need to do that. But you hear all these awesome noises though, right folks? There's these awesome noises that are telling me what Michael's doing and all my other collaborators.
Blank. 1 dot Swift. 2 dot 3 4 4 dot. 3 dot JavaScript 4 dot.
Okay, let's see what else
3
he's
2
doing.
dot 1 dot did not see your other. Number did
They are
not see your
editing
other
the same
easy.
line as you.
Number did not see your other heading dot.
Oh, he didn't
They are
see
editing
my
nearby.
other heading. Yeah, right, Michael. Yeah, you did.
They are editing the same
Yeah.
line as you.
Number did not see your other heading dot.
Michael Doyes left your line.
Okay.
1 dot Swift. 2 dot 3 4 4 dot.
So you can be able to do as much as you want. And again, this preview will update when Michael decides to add more of his favorite programming languages. And the thing is that Markdown is so versatile. Now, I don't know if I'd recommend Markdown
They are editing the same line as you.
as Sorry, I don't know if I'd recommend VS Code as a good
They are
Markdown
editing nearby.
editor. I mean, I think I would, but
They are editing the
who
same line
knows?
as you.
I think that it's kind of more of a code editor, but you can do Markdown, okay? There's different things that you can do with Markdown and VS Code. So let's see what Michael's adding.
5 dot. 4 dot. Kotlin.
Okay, Michael likes Kotlin, okay?
5 dot.
Let's see what else he likes. He's typing.
4 to 5 dot. Basic.
Basic? Really, Michael? Really? Really? Is anyone in chat, what are you guys thinking about all these noises and how live share works? Is this something that you'd want to try for like different coding tutorials that I do in the future? Or are you just thinking that I'm absolutely crazy for showing you guys this and now you want to go ahead and mess with it with all your friends? Let me know. Alright, let's see what he says.
5 dot. Basic left parent. M right parent. 4 dot. 5 dot. Basic left parent. My first language right parent.
So I assume that when that typing sound is done, that the typing is done and that the whole line is completed. Right? Is that kind of what I assume? Because I think that's how that works. When you hear the doom doom doom, you know, when he's done, that's how it works, okay?
5 dot. Basic right blank. 6 dot.
Oh.
5 dot. 4 dot. Kotlin. 3
So-
2 1 dot. Did not see your other heading dot.
Basically, what we did is I showed you guys Markdown and I showed you guys web stuff. Now, I want to talk about the preferences because there's some things in here I want to go over. I don't want to change a lot of different preferences, but there are some things that I want to talk about. So, let's...
They are editing nearby.
Oh, Michael's editing something else.
D. 1 dot. Swift. Did not see your other heading dot. 1 dot. 2 dot. 3 4 5 blank. Number least favorite.
They are editing nearby.
Oh, he's adding his least favorite programming language.
They are editing the same line as you.
Uh-oh.
Michael Doyes left your line.
Blank.
They are
Number
editing
least
nearby.
favorite language. Blank. 1 dot. Asm. Blank. 1
They are
dot.
editing the
Assembly.
same line as you.
Uh-oh.
Michael Doyes left your line.
Michael, you have a lot of influence.
They are editing nearby.
2 dot. Java. 3 dot. C/C++. 4 dot.
These sounds are, oh, you know, Michael, these sounds almost remind me of like Microsoft Soundscape.
They are editing the same line as you. Michael Doyes left your line.
You know?
5 dot. 4 dot.
They are
C
editing
number.
nearby.
5 dot.
They are editing the same line as you.
3 space blank. No and then 5 dot. Objective dash C. 3 space blank. Blank. Blank.
Yeah, so I think that, you know, the thing is, y'all, is that there's a lot of different things that you can do, okay? Now, I want to show you guys, like I said, the preferences before Michael decided he was going to distract me. If anyone else is in chat besides Michael or anyone else, let me know. And tell me what you guys think. If there's any topics that you guys want me to cover in VS Code, let me know. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to press, what is this command? Control comma? No, Control Shift P.
833 results.
No, that's command palette. What is this?
7 results. Search files by name left parent.
Okay, hold on.
Quick input list. Main landmark. Search. Blank. Settings preview. Commonly used expanded 1 of 8
Okay,
level 1.
so commonly used.
Level 2 files autosave dot. Controls left bracket autosave right bracket left parent. https://code.visualstudio.com/doc/editor/code number line save dash auto dash save right parent. Of editors that have unsaved changes dot. 1 of 12.
I'm going to go ahead and enable autosave because I clearly forget to save. So, let's see.
Space. Settings preview. Clickable. Settings preview. Settings preview. Editor font size spin button editable 14. Editor font size dot. Controls the font size. Settings navigation landmark. Settings table of contents preview. Text editor comma group collapse 2 of 8. Commonly used. Settings preview. Level 2 files auto. Editor font size dot. Files autosave dot. Controls left bracket autosave right bracket left parent. https://code.visualstudio. Files dot autosave combo box off collapsed off. Editor font size dot. Control files autosave dot. Controls left bracket autosave space. Editor font size dot. Files autosave dot.
How do I turn this
Space.
on?
Files dot autosave combo box off collapsed off. Space. Files dot autosave list expanded off dot. Default after delay dot. An editor which on focus change dot. An editor which changes is automatically saved when the editor loses focus dot. Not selected 3 of 4.
Yes.
Main landmark.
I
Settings
like
preview.
that.
Files dot autosave combo box on focus change collapsed on focus change.
That will help me a lot with my saving problems. Alright, so I just turned on autosave. It's a great feature to have. It really works well. Alright, let's see what else I have. Alright, let's see.
Settings preview. Files dot auto. Editor font size dot. Editor font family dot. Controls the font family dot. 3 of 12 level 2. Editor tab size dot. Language dash specific
Tab
default values
size.
exist. Editor render white space dot. Controls how to edit. Editor cursor style dot. Editor multi cursor modifier. Editor insert spaces dot. Language dash specific default values exist for go comma make file comma YAML comma compose dot. Insert spaces when pressing graph tab graph. Editor word wrap dot. Language dash specific default values exist. Files exclude dot. Configure left bracket blob patterns right bracket left parent. HTTPS. Files associations dot. Configure file associate. Workbench editor enable preview dot. Controls whether open editor shows. Level 1 text editor expand. Level 2 accessibility page size dot. Controls the number of lines in the editor that can be read out by a screen reader at once dot. When we detect the screen reader, we automatically set the default to be 500 dot. Warning colon. This has a performance implication for numbers larger than the default dot. 1 to 142.
Okay, I don't want to change any of these settings.
Accessibility support dot. Modify dot. Controls whether the editor should run in a mode where it is optimized for screen readers dot. 2 of 142 level 2.
Of course that's modified because that's on.
Auto closing brackets dot. Controls whether the editor should automatically close brackets after the user adds an opening bracket dot. 3 of 142 level space. Space. Editor dot auto closing brackets combo dot language defined elapsed language
I'm
defined.
going to press space and then
Space. Editor dot auto close before white space dot. Never not. Always not selected. 1 of
always.
main landmark. Settings preview. Editor dot auto closing brackets combo box always collapsed always.
So what I do to enter these settings is I press tab first and then space second. Alright? Tab first, then space second. Alright, and shift tab.
Auto closing bracket. Auto closing delete dot. Controls whether the editor should remove adjacent closing quotes or brackets when deleting dot. 4 of 142 level 2.
You know, this is an interesting one. Because, You know what? I'm going to try this. If I don't like it, I'm going to get rid of it. So, tab.
Editor dot auto space. Editor dot auto. Never not. Auto dot. Default. Always not selected. Auto dot. Default dot. Remove adjacent closing quotes or brackets only if they were automatically inserted dot. Not selected. 2 of 3. Always not selected. 1.
I'll try it. If I don't like it, I can get rid of it.
Auto closing over type dot. Controls. Auto closing quotes dot. Controls whether the editor should automatically close quotes after the user adds an opening quote dot. 6 of 100 space. Editor dot auto closing quotes comma space. Files dot auto before white language. Always not selected. 1 of
Okay.
main auto closing quotes dot. Auto indent dot. Language dash specific default values exist for YAML comma compose dot. Controls whether the editor should automatically adjust the indentation when users type comma paste comma over indent lines dot. 7 of 142 level 2. Auto surround dot. Controls whether the editor should automatically surround selections when typing quotes or brackets. Bracket pair colorization enabled dot. Controls whether bracket pair colorization independent. Code actions on save dot. Code action kinds to be run on save dot. 11 of 104. Code action widget show headers dot. Enable select code lens dot. Controls whether the editor shows code lens dot. 13 of 142 level 2.
Code lens is.
Code lens font family dot. Code lens fonts. Color decorators dot. Control column selection dot. Comments ignore empty lines dot. Controls if empty lines should be ignored with toggle comma. Add or remove actions for line comments dot. Comments insert space dot. Controls whether a space character is inserted when commenting dot. Not copy with syntax highlighting dot. Controls whether syntax highlighting should be copied into the clipboard dot. 20 of default folding range provider dot. Default formatter. Definition link opens and detect indentation dot. Controls whether quote editor colon. Tab size quote and quote editor colon. Insert spaces quote will be automatically detected when a file is opened based on the file contents dot. 24 drag and drop dot. Controls whether the editor should allow moving selections via drag drop into editor enable dot. Empty selection clipboard dot. Control experimental paste actions enable dot. Enable slash disable running edits from extensions on paste dot. 28 fast scroll sensitivity dot. Folding dot. Controls whether the editor has code folding enabled dot. 30 of 142 level 2.
Folding. I don't really mess with this a lot. I did see a lot of things on the program L list about this though. But folding is something that I don't really mess with a lot.
Folding highlight dot. Control folding imports by default. Folding maximum regions dot. Folding strategy dot. Controls the strategy for computing folding ranges. Glyph margin dot. Go to location. Go to locate. Go to location multiple. Go to guides bracket pairs or guides highlight guides hide hover above dot. Hover delete hover indent size dot. Inlay hints collapsed. Workbench comma group collapsed 3 of 8 expanded. Level 3 appearance comma group 1 of 6. Breadcrumbs comma group 2. Editor management comma settings editor comma Zen mode comma group screencast mode comma level 2 window comma features comma application comma security comma extension.
And we got all these different settings that we can mess with. And you know, the thing is that we just kind of have to tailor, right? Because my name is Taylor. We have to tailor the settings that will match to our needs.
Ken Perry. Folding is great for quickly deleting functions and groups.
Good to know. Thank you. I've never messed with it, but it seems like it could be a great feature. And again, welcome to the stream. So thank you so much. All right, let's see. And let's see, if anyone has anything they'd like me to cover in chat, I'm going to actually change a couple things here. I want to cover how to do keyboard shortcuts, and I'm going to also cover settings sync, because I've had a lot of people tell me that the configuration that I proposed was broken. That's okay, because I'm not using that one anymore anyways. So I'm going to go ahead and try to publish my new GitHub settings, and if you guys want to download them, you can. Again, they're going to have all my different extensions, so if you guys don't like my extensions, then don't download my settings. But it will also have all my custom keyboard bindings, which I am going to show you guys how to do right now. Alright, so say you want to change some keyboard shortcuts, or say you have some functions that don't have a shortcut, but that you use all the time. We're going to go ahead and change these shortcuts so that they can be more intuitive. So this is going to be a pretty great part of the stream, because you guys can learn how to change different keyboard shortcuts. So, let me go ahead and go to my settings.
New text, exit, close, win, close, and reverse, preferences, auto save, preferences, submenu, settings, online services, telemetry, settings, for extension, CTR, keyboard shortcuts, CTRL plus K, CTRL plus S.
Keyboard shortcuts.
Main landmark, showing 25, 29 key bindings in alphabetical order, edit type to search and key bindings, lang.
Holy moly, keyboard shortcuts, heaven. 25, 28 keyboard shortcuts. That's a lot of keyboard shortcuts, folks. So we're going to go ahead and assign some keyboard shortcuts and delete some others and just make sure our experience is personalized, okay? Sounds good? All right, let's do it. So I'm going to tab.
Toolbar, record keys left parent, up, showing 25, 29, blank. Key bindings list clickable with.
I need to get in focus mode.
Level 1, add cursor above comma, control, add cursor below comma, control plus alt plus down arrow comma, default editor text focus 2 of 25, 29, level 1. Add cursor, add line, add selection to next find map, auto, calls, colon, show call, cancel selection, anchor, change all occurrence, change, close it, close window comma, control, close window comma, copy comma, copy line, up, create manual, create colon, new file, dot, cursor on cut comma, cut, debug, colon, pause comma, F6 comma, double, toolbar, record, showing 25, editor actions tool, showing 25, 29, key bindings in alphabetical order, edit type assertion, NOTIFICATIOS. Showing 15 key bindings in alphabetical order. Showing 15. Toolbar. Record key bindings list. Notifications colon. Hide notification. Interactive dot input dot clear comma. Escape. Notifications dot focus first toast comma. Home comma. Default notification focus and then notifications dot focus first toast comma. Page up comma. Default notifications dot focus last toast comma. End comma. Notifications dot focus last toast comma. Notifications dot focus next toast comma. Notifications dot focus previous toast comma. Notifications dot hide toast comma. Escape comma. Notifications dot hide toast comma. Escape comma. Notifications colon. Clear all notifications colon. Focus notifications toast comma. No key binding assigned dot comma. Default 12 of 15 level 1.
So
Notifications colon. Show notifications comma. No key binding assigned dot comma. Default 13 of 15 level 1. Press desired key combination and then press enter dot edit blank.
And I'm going to go ahead and make this so that anytime I press Control, Shift, N, I believe, let me see if that works, then my notifications will be displayed. That way it's a lot more efficient for me. And I'm going to try to make these settings available so that anyone can download them. So Control, Shift, N.
Code colon. Code 1 existing command as is key binding. Code colon. Key N comma. Key code colon. Control F comma. Key code colon. 17 comma. Key colon. Code colon. Key N comma. Key code colon. 78 comma. Key colon. N equals greater UI colon. Control plus Shift plus N comma. User settings colon. CTRL plus Shift plus N comma. Dispatch colon. CTRL plus Shift plus N. Blank. Application. Main landmark. Key binding list. Notifications colon. Show notifications comma. Control plus Shift plus N. Control plus Shift plus N comma. User 2 of 15 level 1.
Hold on. I messed that up.
Press desired key combination and then press enter dot edit code colon. Key N comma. Key code colon. 78 blank. 2 existing commands have is key binding. Code colon. Backspace comma. Key code colon. 8 comma. Key colon. Backspace equals greater UI colon. Backspace comma. User settings colon. Back code colon. Code colon. Key N comma. Key code colon. 78 comma. Key blank. Application. Main landmark. Key bindings list. Notifications colon. Show notifications comma. Backspace control plus Shift plus N comma. User 2 of 15. Menu. Show same. Change when reset. Remove key. Add key bind. Remove key binding. Delete. Reset key bind. Remove.
So
main landmark. Key bindings list. Interactive dot input dot clear comma. Escape comma. Extension band width edit input visible and band accessibility. Help widget visible and band breakpoint widget visible and band editor as multiple selections and band editor as selection and band editor hover visible and band exception widget visible and band find widget visible and notifications dot interactive dot notifications dot focus first toast comma home comma interact notifications dot focus previous toast notifications dot hide toast comma notifications dot hide toast comma notifications colon focus notifications toast comma no key binding assigned dot comma default 12 of it press desired key combination and then press enter dot edit code colon key N comma key code colon 78 code colon taskbar.
Oops, I accidentally shut off NVDA. Very helpful of me.
Documents item view list scope.
Let's see.
Keyboard shortcuts tab notifications colon focus notifications toast comma no key binding assigned dot comma default 12 press desired key combination and then press enter dot edit code colon alt left comma key code colon control 1 existing command as is key binding code colon key N comma key code colon 78 comma key colon N equals greater UI colon control plus Shift plus N comma user settings colon CTRL plus Shift plus keyboard shortcuts dash scope notifications colon hide notifications colon focus notifications toast comma control plus Shift plus N comma user 1 of 15 level 1.
So Control Shift N. Again, if I have to readjust these are just a work in progress. But that way it'll make it very easy for me to go to the notifications, okay? Very easy. Now, I want to change some settings about my live share sessions because my live share sessions are kind of a problem right now.
Toolbar record showing 15 key bindings in alphabet equals selection
I do
remove.
a lot of live share sessions.
S-A-A-R-E. Toolbar record key bindings list. Live share colon follow participant live share colon follow participant to the side comma control live share colon join collaboration session comma control plus alt live share colon unfollow participant accessibility colon announce code shader location comma no key binding assigned dot comma default 5 of 170 level 1.
I love that where it says accessibility announce co-editor location. They've done a lot of work on this since I've actually used live share.
Accessibility colon set output device comma no key binding accessibility colon toggle sounds enabled comma accessibility colon toggle voice enabled comma no developer colon toggle share explorer colon live share source control colon discard change live share source control colon discard all changes live share source control colon open file comma live share source control colon revert change comma no live share colon block participant live share colon block participant comma no live share colon block participant live share colon cancel comma live share colon change status live share colon change status live share colon change status comma no key binding assigned toolbar record showing 170 key share so blank share blank space START showing 10 key bindings in alpha share start toolbar record key bindings list live share colon start collaboration session left parent share right parent comma no key binding assigned dot press desired key combination and then press enter dot edit code colon key N comma key code colon 78 comma key colon N equals greater UI colon control plus Shift plus N comma user settings code colon Shift left comma key code colon 16 3 existing commands have is key binding code colon key L comma key code colon 76 comma key colon L equals greater UI colon control plus Shift plus L code colon key L comma key code keyboard shortcuts dash scope live share colon start collaboration session left parent share right parent comma no key binding assigned dot comma default 2 of 10 press desired key combination and then code 3 XLL 1 existing command has is key binding keyboard shortcuts live share colon start collaboration session left parent share right parent comma L comma user 2 of 10 level 1.
No.
Press desired key combination and then press enter. Edit code colon PL comma keep code colon PL comma key code colon keyboard shortcuts live share colon start collaboration session left parent share right parent comma control plus alt plus L comma user 2 of 10.
Control alt L. I'll go ahead and have that as start collaboration session. Okay, so you guys get the hang of this, right? Basically you go to the keyboard shortcuts and you edit the settings. Okay, and again, I'm going to be making some more changes to these. And so there's something called settings sync where you can sync my settings across machines. Again, my settings are designed for me, but it's actually very helpful. Actually, one more thing I want to change about by killing my terminal is I want to go to
toolbar record showing 10 key bindings in alphabetic. T selection removed showing 20 Y. Y showing 690 R M I A L. Showing 153 toolbar record keys left parent showing 153 terminal stay A I L L showing 4 key bindings toolbar record key bindings list. Terminal colon kill the active terminal in editor area comma control plus W comma default terminal colon kill the active terminal in editor area comma control plus F4 comma terminal colon kill all terminals comma no key binding assigned dot comma default 3 press desired key combination code 1 existing command has key binding code colon PK comma key code colon 75 comma keyboard shortcuts terminal colon kill the active terminal in editor area comma control plus W comma terminal colon kill the active terminal in editor terminal colon kill the active terminal colon kill all terminals comma control plus shift plus K comma user 1 of 4 press desired key combination and then code keyboard shortcuts dash stove terminal colon kill all terminals comma control plus K comma user 1 of 4 level 1.
Control plus K is going to kill all terminals. It's a very helpful shortcut to have. So, either way, guys, I'm not going to do all this right now. But what I did is I showed you guys how to edit keyboard shortcuts. Okay, so does anyone have any questions about this? Because one thing I'm going to show you guys next is how to export your settings. Because if you want to go to a different machine or you guys want to download my settings, how do I do it? So let's see. We're going to go to Command Palette.
608.
Settings.
S3 results. Quick input. Key bindings list.
Okay, hold on.
640 results. Type S-E-T-T-I-N-S space S5Y L colon settings sync 1 settings sync colon open local backup settings sync colon show log 3 of 5 settings sync colon show settings 4 of 5 settings sync colon turn on dot 5 of 5.
I'm going to go ahead and do turn on.
Quick input list settings checkbox checked.
Settings. Okay, and settings sync is actually built into VS Code. It used to be its own extension, but it's actually built in now, which is very nice.
Settings control plus shift plus V checkbox checked. Keyboard shortcuts comma for each platform checkbox checked. Keyboard shortcuts for each user snippets checkbox checked. User tasks checkbox checked.
And you'll also get my user snippets. I don't have any, but
extensions checkbox checked. UI state checkbox checked. UI state clickable quick input list keyboard application content info landmark toolbar go back left 604 S 5 ET TI GS keyboard shortcuts dash developer colon generate settings sync colon turn on dot terminal colon setting clickable quick input list clickable checkbox check keyboard quick input list 2 results keyboard shortcuts dash stove dash visual quick sign in with GitHub check 2 of 2 sign in with Microsoft check sign.
So I'm signing in with
open Visual Studio
GitHub right
Code
now.
open Visual Studio Code dialog HTTP open the cancel open Visual Studio test Google Chrome Taylor person 2 test heading level 1 test heading level 2 this is a simple test what does this form do no stream bombing folks name edit email name and notes what does this form do
hold on.
Keyboard shortcuts terminal space terminal no TT toolbar record keys left parent alt plus K right key bindings list out of list sign in into github.com comma source colon GitHub authentication left parent extension right parent comma notification
control
sign in into github.com clickable button cancel source colon button sign in into github.com cancel button source colon GitHub authentication left parent button sign in into GitHub clickable menu button collapse submenu configure notification busy indicator space busy indicator.
All right, it's signing into GitHub. So what I'm going to do, folks, remember I had my old settings sync notification or VS Code where you could download my configurations? Well, I'm going to have a new one of these for 2023. And so that'll be very helpful for you guys to be able to download my settings. And that will be very nice. So does anyone have any other questions that they would like me to cover before I wrap up? So any other languages that you guys want to know about? Anything at all. This is your time. I've covered my content. It's your time to shine, okay? And apparently, it's my time for my phone to die. But no, it's your turn to show the ropes. So I've already covered everything that I want to talk about. Okay? So now it's your turn. So if anyone has any ideas or any things that they want to cover, go ahead and throw it at me. We'll see if I can know how to do it. Okay? And if I don't, I'll try to research it. Alright? Anything at all. And if not, we'll go ahead and end it, but I just want to give everyone a chance if they have any questions at all on how to do anything. This is your chance. It's the open part of the tutorial. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen for just a second, and we'll get ready for our next section.
Documents, items, restream chat, screen sharing, meeting controls.
If we don't, that's okay. That's okay. Alright. Alright, so I'm just going to give it a minute. But thank you guys. If you like this video, go ahead. I've got 2 likes. Let's see if we can get any more, okay? Alright, let's see if I have any more. But if anyone has any questions whatsoever, please, 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 please let me know. I'm going to go ahead and end it otherwise. And I'll be putting things on GitHub and all of that kind of stuff. But I don't think I have anything else, folks. Have a great day, everyone, and we will talk soon. But this has been awesome. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do, because I'm going live again at 7:30. All right, folks, have a great day. Talk soon.